This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All righty, yes, welcome aboard. It is time to rock and roll from VSS West Pines. Yes, we'll be out here for a few hours having some fun. Got all kinds of guests, got all kinds of things to talk about here on the show. So come on down to 12397 Pembroke Road. They normally open at noon, okay? That's the normal time, but they always accommodate us because we start at 11. And so we come out here and have a little fun. And so we'll be out here for a few hours. So if you happen to be in the Pembroke Pines, Hollywood area, Weston's right over there, anywhere around that area, Northern Dade, come on out here to 12397 Pembroke Road. And we'll be out here having some fun for a couple of hours. All kinds of stuff to talk about. Had a blast yesterday. We were over at the Inter Miami practices. It was great. Even though I know there might have been some clouds, but I think it rained for like 60 seconds or something, like light rain. Nobody really had to leave or anything, and then it went away right away. So we were blessed yesterday that we were able to enjoy it, and it was a lot of fun yesterday, I got to say. It was one of those atmospheres, and listen, kudos to the Southern League, the Siege, and Vice City 1896. You guys were, you're always phenomenal. I've been dealing with a lot of you guys since you were Flight 19 and the Southern Legion and all that stuff for the Strikers and Miami FC, and I know a lot of you were part of those supporter groups, and so a lot of you have kind of, transferred over, and I know you've expanded, and now you've got different supporter groups and things like that. So there are three main supporter groups. Just props to the supporter groups for Inter Miami. I just love the passion that you guys show all the time. It is fantastic, and it was great yesterday because for those of us that love soccer, for me, I've been going to that stadium since I was a child, watching the Strikers in the late 70s and early 80s. And so I've grown throughout, this entire time watching the dump that is, Lockhart Stadium. But it was my dump, right? It was a place that I enjoyed as a kid. I had a lot of great memories, even as a young adult, working with the Fusion and then working with the Miami FC, which then became the Strikers, all of that stuff. I have so many great memories, friendlies that have gone on there. So those of us that we have a connection to Lockhart, it's special when you drive on to that lot and you see that big, beautiful stadium that is there now. A modern facility that's got luxury suites. It's got field suites that are sick. Any of you out there that have got season tickets for those suites on the field, man, those are the bomb. Okay, those are awesome. I believe the best seats in the house are actually the ones that are in that first row. Those nice seats that are in that first row, because you're just elevated enough to see the entire pitch, kind of see things develop a little bit, you know what I mean? Obviously, you'll see a little bit more when you go higher up, but I think that level, that first row for me, I think is the best seat in the house when it's all said and done. But, the Heineken Club, which is so beautiful, the glass area there on the left corner of the state, it's the northwest corner of it, which is right next to the supporters stands, which the north stands are going to be all supporters, and it's only standing room only. For those of you that watched the LAFC game, when you saw the LAFC supporters on one end zone, that it's the same thing. That's kind of what they do all over the world. They have that section for supporters, and supporters stand. They don't sit. And so yesterday, I it's just a practice. I mean, all it is was a little training session, a 1-hour training session. I don't even know if they ended up with 1 hour, maybe 45 minutes with a talk and a couple breaks in between. So it wasn't anything really important, actually. It wasn't like a game scrimmage or something like that. No, it was just a simple 1 hour practice. And to have 3,000 people there, I thought was phenomenal. Really, on a Tuesday, there were some clouds, even though it really didn't rain. But I'm so proud of what Jorge Mas and David Beckham have been able to accomplish. And again, 10 months ago, that was a stadium full of weeds. That's you have to remember that when you walk onto that field, in 10 months, they built an almost 19,000 seat stadium, state of the art, with everything that you could possibly need. And to think about it, when they leave from there 3 years from now, because they'll be there for 3 seasons, when they leave from there after 3 seasons, that stadium is going to be for a USL 1 team. I mean, that's going to be sick. And I'm sure we'll have friendlies and concerts and all kinds of events going on at that stadium. But for me personally, it was a special moment yesterday. Because anybody that loves soccer and anybody that has had their share of experiences, maybe if you went once, you don't have that same connection like I do and others do, that we've gone there religiously. We've gone there for multiple soccer teams, all kinds of different events, and especially for soccer. It has a special place for a lot of us because we have some great moments there that we could go back to. And I'm so happy that we're going to add to that legacy, that history, all those moments that I've had since I was a child. I'm going to be able to add now, to it because of what Inter Miami is going to do there over the next couple of years. And let me tell you, the start of this season isn't anything like it's going to be down the line when they add those 2 international players around June or July. And then you start making that second half push for the playoff run. And listen, to think about it, they're not even healthy. They're not even in a groove yet, and they've been very competitive that you could argue they could be 2-0 right now. And that would be amazing at this point if they were 2-0 as an expansion team without their big additions and the injuries. And having said all that, I just, yesterday was one of those moments that you sat there and you said, wow, $150 million have been put into this place, and it looks it. And it's pretty cool, man. So just hats off to all the fans that showed up. Hats off to Southern Legion, Vice City 1896, The Siege. Just love what you guys are doing out there, and gals, of course, because we got men and women in those supporters groups. So looking forward to Saturday in that Galaxy game and seeing those stands, because obviously it's sold out. So it's going to be a lot of fun to check it out and to see that event for the first time on Saturday at 3 o'clock. All right, so what else do we have here going on the program? We got the Heat back in action tonight, taking on the Hornets. And, they may end up, because of Corona, they may end up telling people that they've got to stay home, right? So I've got an idea, because LeBron James, right? You saw how he backtracked from his comment. And he first said, well, if the fans don't show up, I'm not going to show up. You're not going to get me to play. And now he kind of backtracked because he was looking like a horse's ass. Dude, this is a health crisis. You understand? So if they're keeping the fans away, it's for the betterment of the fans and you. Okay? It's to protect everybody. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why we're doing it. Do you understand that? And he kind of backtracked. No, he completely backtracked from his statement and basically said, "Hey, we got to do what they tell us to do." Of course you do, because that you got to do what's right. Period. So, if somehow or another they are going to eliminate fans from the arena, I got a crazy idea. I do. This is what you do now. Okay? You put, what are those? LED screens, all right? All over the arena where the seats are. Season ticket holders, only season ticket holders, okay? Can't do walk-up seats. Season ticket holders, you know who they are. They paid their credit card, all that stuff, right? They have a camera at home that is set at them while they're sitting in the couch watching the game. That image is then transferred over to the LED screen on the seat. So while they cheer, Mike picks it up, comes out through the speakers, and you got your fans cheering. It's kind of like...
So you're trying to hold the environment and keep the cheering and the noise.
Hologram-like.
Yeah.
Hologram-like. So all season...
It creates the basketball environment.
There you go. Fans are there. They can't get corona. It's a beautiful thing. They can't give corona to each other. They can't give them to the fans. Even you know what? We can even, okay, hologram the kid when they walk out back into the locker room. Remember the kid? Nice effort, nice job, whatever, all that. We can even put him there. No hand, of course, for a high five because he's just a screen. But we can hologram the fans into the arenas. What do you think about that? And look, I know season ticket holders, maybe it's a base of 9,000 and it's a 20,000-seat arena. Well, you repeat. Those fans get 2 seats, in other words. So if they've got 4, they get 8. That's all. You put 4 more somewhere else of them.
Special effects, and the movie companies and special effects people love your idea.
Yes, exactly. That's right. And and by the way, the players will love the idea.
Yeah, because
that will create the atmosphere.
LeBron was talking about, and I did like what he said, the way he worded it. It's about the fans. I'm here for the fans. But
yes,
you know,
I understand
the timing.
What his heart was trying to say.
Right.
But his head was full of crap. That's all it is. Okay? I get what he was saying, and it's all noble, and it's great, and it's fantastic.
I think it was just off the cuff to be entertaining and stuff like that. But when it gets down to the reality,
when we get to brass tacks, as they say,
it's
your ass needs to your ass needs to do what they say.
We need to
so
keep
we can protect each other.
Everybody healthy.
Yes, exactly. Wash your damn hands. Okay? I mean, come on. So there you go. All you got to do is create and superimpose fans on LED screens all over the arena. That's it.
You know, they can have Corona if they want. They could be sitting at their house, buy a 12-pack and crack a Corona.
That's right.
And be drinking a beer right there at the game.
That's it. Little Corona action for you.
The right kind of Corona.
So that's the way we get around this whole thing if they end up, canceling and not allowing fans to go to the stands. I'm a little nervous for my Inter Miami. So far so good. It looks like we're still going to have the fans in the stands, but can you imagine, after all the work that Jorge Mas and David Beckham have gone through, that the season opener would not have fans? Man, you got to do what you got to do for the better of the community, obviously. But I'm just saying, I would feel bad for those gentlemen.
You know what this reminds me of?
Feel terrible, man.
You know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
Bob's Burgers. Remember opening, and then grand opening, and great I don't
watch Bob's Burgers.
They tried to open.
My daughter watches Bob's Burgers.
They tried to open like 6 times basically, and it's like you think about buying this lot, buying that lot, we're here, no, we're over there, no, we're over, and then
She says it's funny, but
it is.
Every time I watch it, I don't laugh. I look at it and I'm like, maybe. She goes, well, you gotta stick with it. And I'm like, well, but I don't want to wait around to laugh. If you're funny, you're funny. Make me laugh.
They got
And-
like 6. They basically had like 6 grand openings, and like our situation, buying 3 pieces of property. We're over here. No, now we're over there, and no.
Damn thing
okay.
is popular, man.
Yeah, and here we're up there, and now we're gonna have our grand opening, and we're not gonna be able to have people in the seats.
Damn thing is popular, bro.
That's all my
Tell you
correlation
that.
is. Yeah.
Tell you that. Let's see what we got here. Myron's chiming in with a good morning. Thank you, sir. Jose Garcia says, football, exclamation point, exclamation point. Oh, Myron Sanchez says, I saw Pearl Jam there at Lockhart Stadium. Nice, nice. Unfortunately, I will not be seeing Pearl Jam at Oakland in May, unfortunately. George is chiming in. King Short is chiming in. Peter is chiming in. Flipside Fishing says, good morning, Big O. What are your thoughts on the possibility of Miami trades up somehow for a fourth first round pick? Trades up or trades down for another first round pick? You mean trades down, right? Flipside Fishing, you're not going to trade up and they're going to give you a first rounder. Trade down, right? Bromar Smelly says LeBron has low IQ. Well, I mean, if you want to take shots at LeBron, go ahead. I cannot go with you on the low IQ thing. I think the dude has a very high IQ. Okay.
He was just trying to be he got hit with the question right after the game. He's trying to be entertaining, and I play for the fans.
No common
That's all.
sense
Come
at
on.
that moment.
He
That's all.
But he wasn't being technical. He was just being entertaining.
Yeah, he was catering to the fans, which is what you should do as an athlete. But at that moment, it was just the wrong choice of words, but it's not a big deal. God. Good morning, from John Santos. If the NFL gets canceled, are you going to do some kind of broadcasting locally? Oh, you're talking about the draft. You know, that's a great question. I don't know if I could do a bar. It would be short. Well, it won't be short notice because I would imagine that we'll find out weeks ahead of time that the draft is canceled.
Oh, I would hope 3.
And then maybe I can do something and cut a deal with a bar or something like that and then do the draft. Yeah, I might be able to do that. Yeah, I think I might be able to pull that off. I mean, I'm expecting them. I haven't even called the airlines to reschedule our flights out of Oakland. I got to do that because I got to cancel those flights. We're going to hang on to the tickets. We're going to hang on to the tickets.
Whatever you want to do, man.
No, I want to hang on to the tickets, dude, because it's back-to-back trips. I mean, it's back-to-back nights in Oakland. So if we get to see them twice, and then you know how it is, we'll go out there for a week, whenever it is, and then we'll drive down to Los Angeles.
I like
if San Fran in that area doesn't have other concerts during that week,
we'll go to where they are.
Right. We'll fly in the day before the Pearl Jam concerts. We'll see the 2 Pearl Jam concerts and drive down to Southern Cal, and I guarantee you there'll be a bunch of shows there, and then we'll fly right out of there back to Miami. That's what we'll do.
I like the way you're thinking, man.
Or we go to Vegas. We see who has the better shows at that time after Pearl Jam. Or before, maybe, you know what, maybe Oakland is our last part of the trip. That's what I mean. We can.
We have options.
Yeah, we can flex it out. And having Vegas and Los Angeles close by
puts a lot of things into play.
Exactly. So,
and we could work the front end or the back end, whichever one works better.
Yeah.
No, man.
Exactly.
We could cut it down the middle and go Wednesday. That would be like, say, example, Friday, Saturday, and go till the following Thursday.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Depending on what's the best show.
Yeah. Flipside says no trade up with some of our extra picks, even if it's possible. I don't know. I just don't see that. They just picked up 2 more picks. They now have 16 picks in this draft.
How did you think about the way we were slotted, 141 and 251?
Well, the problem with that was Jawan James had some injuries and kind of tailed off, so it became a 4th rounder. And I'm glad you brought this up because I wanted to talk a little bit about this with you guys. And remember how some of you say, well, trade down, let's get more picks. And then I tell you guys every time, this because you got to think big picture at times. It's like when they signed Ndamukong Suh. Some of you got so excited, our defense is going to be great. And I kept telling you, first of all, one guy doesn't make your defense great. Second of all, the problems with this contract is how it's going to affect the cap. And sure enough, it did as it went on. You guys always tell me, We got to no, trade down, get more picks. They've already got 14, now 16 in this draft, right?
No, we have 12. We went to 14.
I'm sorry, 12.
to
Now
14.
they've got 14.
Right. Yeah.
So now you got 14 damn picks in this draft, right? So think about this. So you end up with an extra first rounder or an extra second rounder or an extra third rounder, whatever it is. But then you're not going to be able to sign all these guys. And then you lose them in free agency, right? And then you get a compensatory pick. Well, you lost Jawan James. Where did you draft Jawan James? Second round. What was the compensatory for it? Fourth.
141.
Okay. Now, I didn't want to sign Jawan James. I don't think he was worth the money. Let's understand this, okay? But you did spend a second rounder on him. So you didn't get back your value. You got a fourth rounder. You understand what I'm saying? So you want to get all these first round picks. Best case scenario, they come back as a third. Well, what happens if he has a bad year and he gets injured? Then it's a fourth or a fifth. But yet you spent a first or a second on the guy. See what I'm saying? So it's nice to get the compensatory pick, but you'd like to get something that's a little closer to the value that you got.
You're losing something in the exchange.
Right. And so if you keep adding all these picks, and if you hit on a bunch of these picks, you're going to feel great. Like, okay, let's have some fun. They draft 14 picks, okay? They hit on 8 of them. 4 years later, what are you doing? I'm waiting. You think you're signing all 8 guys? That's what I'm trying to tell you. So it's not what some of you should be saying is, well, let's trade picks and let's get the 21st.
That's the fullest of all the compensatory picks. Roll up. It's every team what they got allotted.
Oh yeah, I know. I saw this, and I know that New England got 4 of them. They got 2 third rounders.
Yeah, third rounder. Yeah. How do they always end up on the good side?
Well, he needs
They
it.
screw the league. They break the rules. They, you know what I mean? They
But
cheat.
he needs it because he screws up a lot in the draft.
Yeah, but still,
So-
they do all this dirty stuff, and then they get handed all. I'm like, bro, when's the league going to smack these guys?
All right, so now you got an extra 4th and a 7th, and you got a 7th for Cam Wake. Why? Because he got injured. Maybe you would have gotten a higher pick, a 5th rounder, 4th rounder if he goes and has a really, really good year, but he didn't. So you ended up getting a 7th rounder. And again, Cam probably would have broken down if you kept him here either. And you wouldn't have gotten anything because he probably would have retired after this year. You know what I mean? So at least you got something out of it. But again, that's the problem you run into with all this. So what you want to do, for those of you that love your trading down and you love playing this fantasy and let's go get more picks, you should be saying, well, let's trade down and get more picks into 2021 or 2022 is what you want to do. You don't want to get any more picks in 2020. You just don't. It just gets to a point where it's ridiculous because it's too many players and then you're not going to be able to keep them all. And then if you lose some of them that are actually really good, forget the compensation. Dude, I don't want to lose the player. But we just went through Arik Armstead yesterday, and I told you why Arik Armstead is going to become available. Because the Niners have too many guys that they have to re-sign. Tennessee would love to sign their quarterback, sign Derrick Henry, and sign Jack Conklin. Now they've got to go, we can't sign Jack Conklin. We can only sign 2 of the 3. Do you think they're going to get what they drafted in Jack Conklin in compensatory? No. Because I'm pretty sure he was either a first or a second rounder. If he has a really, really good year, he becomes a third rounder for him the following year. If he struggles and plays up and down, it becomes a 4th. If he has an injury, it could be a 5th. And so then you're Tennessee, you don't get back what you invested in Jack, and you lost Jack because of the cap situation.
You know who's going through this right now?
That's only 3 players, ladies and gentlemen. Can you imagine if 4 years from now you got to sign 8 of them?
Dallas is going through that right now.
Right.
With Amari and
All of
Dak,
them.
and they
Jones,
just did, and the linebackers that got signed.
And Byron Jones is supposed to be a free agent because they don't have the money to sign Jones. So he's one of the better corners in the league, and the Cowboys are about to lose one of their better corners because they've got to re-sign other guys.
There's only so much money to go around. This guy wants it, and
your compensatory.
You got $60 million worth of want. You've only got $40 million to lay out.
And your
You're 20
compensatory
short.
will not match what you spent on the player. What you spent. Think about this. Even in this way, think about the New England Patriots. They invested a second-round pick in Jimmy Garoppolo and 4 years of coaching him up, and then they ended up. Belichick was kind of forced to trade him because of the owner. And he got back a second rounder. Was that a good investment? You got back what you invested. You really didn't gain anything.
Why have a commodity you know? Why have a commodity that you know in the long run you're going to come up short? You're going to lose.
No, I think that was a little more personal in between the owner.
No, but what
and
I'm
the
saying is
coach
when
and
you
all
go
that.
to this situation like you're talking about, why give up 2 or 3 rounds?
Yeah.
To what? To have for now immediate gratification? You got to think of, like you said, 4 or 5 years down the road.
You can't. You guys got to think big term, not just what it looks like right now. How does it affect us down the line? Because that's kind of what this is all about. You can't make decisions. You can't live in the moment. You have to live in the moment, but you have to understand the future. And that's the problem that you run into in the NFL. And that's why I tell you guys, those of you out there that you're so gung-ho about, let's trade down, let's gain more picks. There's a price to be paid for all of that.
It's like they say that you can't mortgage your future for the immediate because you're going to have to pay the piper.
Yeah. And then you end up losing guys, and that puts you in a terrible, terrible position. So they've got more than enough picks at this point. 14 is a lot of picks. And look, I'm glad that they've got them. Don't get me wrong, especially where they're at now. They need a lot of picks. They need to hit on guys. They need to rebuild. But it gets to a point where it's a little too much, and they've kind of reached their point of their max. I don't think you want to keep adding more picks. I think you want to add more maybe down the line to other years. Like I've told you guys for months now, I think they will get one of those first rounders and trade down and go into the following draft. That's what I think.
So you're okay trading down, but this has got to be backloaded to 21,
right, or 22.
Well, more even 22 because next year, look where we're at. We got 11 on the board right now.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I got no problem with that. I really don't. Let's see what we got here. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. We're out here at VSS West Pines, by the way. And if you're looking for any CBD needs, man, I'm telling you, whether it's for you or your pets, anxiety, nervousness, you need to sleep, pain. There are so many different ways to also ingest it. You can smoke it. You can dab it. You can drink it. They've got cookies. They got chocolate. They got gummy bears. I mean, there's so many different ways to enjoy the CBD. And remember, it's not illegal. It doesn't get you high. None of that. It's medicinal, and there are so many medicinal values to it. That's why I want you to come on out to 12397 Pembroke Road. Come out and see Jose and all the great people out here. They're going to take care of you. Incredibly knowledgeable, too. So they'll fill you in on everything. 12397 Pembroke Road here in Pembroke Pines. Come on by. Say hi. We'll be out here for a few hours. Let's take a quick break. You're listening to The Big O Show.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com. A travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
We are back at beautiful VSS West Pines. Come on out here, baby. 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on out and see Jose and all the great people out here, man. They are ready. Sasha, Jason, everybody's out here ready to go. Ready to take care of you. So come on out here, 12397 Pembroke Road. It is VSS West Pines. Visit them, by the way, on Instagram and Facebook at VSS West Pines. Come see Alex and Tommy and all the great people out here. They will take care of you. Let me see. Let me do a little roll call. Let's go. Let's see what we got chiming in besides some of the fellas that we mentioned earlier. Eugene96 says, Tuna is the next Luck draft defense. Ty from the Bronx says, good morning. Josh says, what's up? Let's see. Josh says, I can't hear you. You can't hear me. Why? Can't hear me? Let me see. I don't think, no, I might be you, bro. You might have your volume down. It seems like it's working here. I just raised it up.
It's even louder than it's been the last couple of days, by the way.
Yeah, George says volume went real low, boys. So something did happen. I don't know what happened, but my hearing is getting bad. Must be getting bad. Morning, brother. If you do trade for more picks, you do it for future years. There you go, George. What else do we have? George Vidal says, wasn't James a first-rounder? No, I think he was a second-rounder. No, wait a minute. You might be right. Juwan James was the first rounder and Landry was the second rounder, right? I think you're right, so it makes it even worse. It's a good call by you, Vidal. Nice job, dude. Let's see. Mike Monaco chimes in. Ian from Brooklyn chiming in. Josh says, I'm riding with Rosen this year and hope for the best. If not next year, I'm going after Lawrence this year for the defense and offensive line at number 5. Well, I mean, it would be nice to get Lawrence, but you have to have the number 1 pick to get Trevor Lawrence. Miami is not going to have the number 1 pick next year. If this guy can win 5 games with no talent, and now you're about to add 14 draft picks, some undrafted free agents, and some free agents, no way this team is going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. It's nice to have some expectations for the Dolphins now. John Ross says, shouldn't matter, as you say, it's about who you pick, not where you pick. That's right. That's right, Johnny. Love God, love people says, Big O, We can build a D-line and O-lines through the draft and work with Josh and Patrick this year and see if we could get Trevor Lawrence to I like it in this draft, but he's injury prone. Listen, I'm not one of those guys that tells you, oh my Lord, you gotta go up and get Joe Burrow. No, I'm not the guy that's hooked on Tua because he's injury prone. I don't like Herbert, so I'm not really hooked on the top 3 guys. I like Jordan Love, but not at 5. So if you want to do something with 18 and move up slightly to get Jordan Love, then go ahead and do that. I got no problem with that. But I'm with you. I'd rather, at 5, I've already told you, I want to build that D and O line. And you have several other picks to help you do that too. And I've already told you guys this. They've got Fitz, they've got Rosen. If you want to take Anthony Gordon later in the draft to go in there with Rosen and compete, I got no problem. You want to get the Davidson kid that I love out of Princeton to come in and compete, no problem. Nate Stanley, who's a little bit more of a deeper option for me also, kind of like him too. A little erratic, but again, has the tools to be an NFL quarterback. Bring him in. These guys aren't going to cost you high draft picks. I'll give you a great example, which turned out to be disastrous, okay? He had some moments early, but then once he got out of Denver, it wasn't ever the same. The year Ryan was coming out, I liked Osweiler. And why? Because I liked Osweiler in the 3rd round. Denver took him in the 2nd round, but Denver was late 2nd, so they knew that by the late 3rd he wasn't going to be there, so that's why they took him late 2nd. So they reached a little. I was wanting the Dolphins to take him somewhere in that 3rd round, which is probably where he would have gone if it wasn't for Denver picking at the end of the 2nd round. He would have gone in the 3rd round like I thought he was going to go. But, see, I'd rather take the project in the 3rd round like Osweiler than take the project number 8 overall in Ryan Tannehill and fail. I'd rather fail with a project in the 3rd round. I'm not taking a project at number 8 overall. That's stupid. I know that the guy usually I'm taking in the 3rd round, 4th rounds, 5th round, 6th, 7th rounds, there's a great chance the guy's not going to work out. Right? But I'd rather fail with that pick. I don't want to reach for Blaine Gabbert, and then I got to try to make him a quarterback. And if I don't, I fail. But, dude, I wasted a top 10 pick on a guy that is a project. I can't do that. If I take you top 10, it's because you are the man. Like, I am guaranteed that I know you're going to be the guy. You can't be taking a guy that, oh, well, maybe if we teach him this and teach him that and oh, give me a break. Get the hell out of here. So I'm with you. I don't mind building up the lines. Take a quarterback later. You might hit on it. You might get lucky. Tom Brady was a 6. Joe Montana's a 3rd. Russell Wilson's a 3rd. Dak Prescott's a 4th. Plenty of quarterbacks. Mark Brunell was a 5th rounder. Plenty of quarterbacks have gone later in the draft and have been good to great. So go ahead and take this. If you're going to take a gamble with somebody that's got holes in them, do it later in the draft. I'd rather fail later in the draft because it's not a big deal to me. Your top 10, that's why I told you that at number 5, I can't take an injury-prone Tua. And Herbert doesn't convince me with the maturity. And Love is inconsistent. So how am I going to take guys with major holes in their games at 5 when I know I'm going to get a badass lineman at 5? Then I'll take Anthony Gordon in the 2nd round out of Washington State. Okay? I'd rather do that. Why? Because he has as many holes as some of the guys. But if I missed with one of my 2nd rounders. I didn't miss with the number 5 pick overall. I can't do that. So, love God, love people. I like what you're saying to a certain extent. The Trevor Lawrence thing is a little crazy, but everything else I like. Let's see what else. Besides, that's how the heck to coach 14 rookies. Okay? And listen, that'll be great for if this coaching staff could work with that team last year and win 5 games with that young team, I love that they're going to give him an influx of draft picks. And I hate to put pressure on Chris Greer now, right? Because he did something last year pretty special, finding Preston Williams and Nick Needham. So now I'm expecting Greer to have a good draft, but I'm also expecting him to find a gem or two in street free agency in the college draft. So unfair. But I love what he did last year. Do it again, baby. Jeffrey Vincent says, I'm so tired of the draft talking Tua. Every day it's a different mock draft. Can't wait for the draft to be over. Dolphins just picked the best player, number 5. Amen, Jeffrey. Amen. Don't reach. Take what the best player is. And as for the draft talking Tua, we're in the season, my friend. That's the way it goes, right? Mike Monaco says, good morning, everybody, and thank you, Ty. So there you go, Ty. You got a little love. Josh, all I know is I'm going to be happy whoever they draft at 5, and Greer we trust. I'm going to be in the Dolphins' house. All right, good for you, Josh. Go Gators is chiming in. Let's see. Fans are beginning to come around to building a championship defense again and a power running game again in Miami, Big O. Well, you have to. That's how. Look, when you had Jay Fiedler, you had a strong running game, and you were able to at least get to the playoffs. And it shows that if you have that kind of balance, it almost doesn't matter who you have at quarterback, you'll win some games. Now, if you're able to find that quarterback, that'll be great, but you can't force it. You take the quarterback that falls to you, that you like, but you don't go crazy and overtrade. Here's the other thing that I hear all the time from fans on Twitter, on Facebook, on the show, on YouTube, everywhere, on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. Oh, let's trade 2, 3, 4 first round. One guy yesterday, let's trade all our first rounders for Joe Burrow. I mean, you guys realize that at number 1, number 2 in the draft, it's Tim Couch, right? It's Baker Mayfield. It's Jamarcus Russell. It's Ryan Leaf. Like, there's a lot of really, really terrible players that get taken at the top of the draft at the quarterback spot. Joey Harrington was supposed to be somebody's, going to bail you out. And it didn't happen. I don't know where we've gone from understanding the amount of risk that you take at quarterback, because you're going to fail more often than not. There's no 50-50. It's way worse than 50-50. It might be 80-20. Okay? But I love how people are willing to give up all their draft capital. Because, okay, think about this. Let's have some fun with this. If you trade away all of your picks in the first round, and then you draft a quarterback, and the quarterback sucks, and now you sit there going, wait a minute, we traded away 3 first-round picks, and now our quarterback is terrible, and we've got nothing to show for it. Meanwhile, let's just say at 5 you took Tristan Wirfs, so you got your left tackle. Let's just say at 18, let me pick something that, Epinesa, okay? You get a defensive end at 18. Guy that's going to be really good against the run. I think he's going to be a decent pass rusher. A 6, 7, 8 sack guy. I don't think he's going to be the 10, 12, 14 sack guy. I don't. I think Epinesa is going to be a monster against the run, hold the edge, and then get some sacks for you. But okay, you got Wirfs at tackle, you got Epinesa at end, and now you're picking, let's say, 26, right? 27. And I want to get Austin Jackson out of Southern California. Okay, I get the 5th tackle off the board. So now I've got my left tackle, my right tackle, and I got a defensive end. Now, you ended up picking, let's just say, Tua. And his hip breaks down, his knees break down, his whatever breaks down. And he's a sack of injuries. He's Sam Bradford.
It's his shoulder. He went to a new spot.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. Actually, that's a good point. That actually is a really good point. He's kind of like Evel Knievel. He breaks a new bone every jump. Yeah. So let's just say you end up with Tua. Or let's just say you end up with Herbert. And Herbert is as inconsistent and immature and can't grab a hold of that locker room. So now you're sitting there going, wow, we traded all our first-round picks, and our quarterback sucks. Meanwhile, here's Ryan Fitzpatrick winning 9-10 games for you, getting you in the playoffs because you added 2 tackles, because now he doesn't face a rush anymore, and he's got an extra defensive end in A.J. Epinesa. You have to think about these things. Even Josh Rosen might play better if you add 2 tackles. Come on. That's where you have to be careful. Because in the scenario that I painted for you, you solve 2 tackles and a defensive end spot. That's where you got to be careful with all of this. You can't go crazy. Oh, we're going to trade everything. Well, man, I don't know where we've gone from Joe Burrow's the number 1 pick to Joe Burrow's a can't-miss player. I'm not sure about that one. I don't know that we should be thinking like that. He's a one-year wonder. Baker Mayfield was a one-year wonder, basically. And
Trubisky.
Another one-year wonder. And how's that all worked out?
Horribly.
It goes on all over the place. Detroit drafted a kid out of Houston. What was his name? Andre Ware. Again, they thought he was going to be the answer too.
You remember Joey Harrington?
Yeah, I already mentioned Joey Harrington. But that's what I'm saying. It's just it goes on and on and on. Anyway,
this Castnet solution is the best, right?
Yes.
4 or 5. Somebody's got to.
I think that's what Greer's doing. That's why he got all these picks, because he'd rather do it this way, load up the team. I don't think he wants to trade all of it away for one guy. That would be asinine. And here's the other thing. Look at all these quarterbacks that have become available. You might end up getting a guy like that down the line that becomes available. Let's see. Defense, power running game, and O-line. I miss Ricky. That's what King Short says. What's up, Big O? He coming for that ECF, Eastern Conference Finals. That would be nice, art of the sport. I would like that. Don't think it'll happen, but I would like that. Mike Monaco from the Bronx says, what? I don't know what the hell that is, dude. Richard Casillas is chiming in with a good morning. Primo Fins, what about Jalen Hurts? He would be good to build. Primo, I'm not a Jalen Hurts guy. I think he's a gimmick guy. I don't think he's a real quarterback in this league. I think he's a backup for a Russell Wilson, a backup for Lamar Jackson, a backup for Kyler Murray or something like that. That's all I think he is. I don't think he's. Maybe he turns out to be that guy, Primo, and you're right, and I'm dead ass wrong. But I'm not that guy. I'm not the Jalen Hurts guy. I just don't buy him. Great point. Oh, you were spot on. Tannehill not being the guy. I always remember all the blind ass fans arguing with you about that. Hey man, they're still arguing. Some of them still think that he actually turned into something this year. There are still people falling for the banana in the tailpipe named Ryan Tannehill. Eugene 96 says, "What's up?" to Mace. Going over to Ty. Pellegrino says, "Big O, nobody knows for sure. Plenty of early bust." Amen. Manny Perez says, "What's on the shelves behind you?" Those are water pipes, bro. Do you need me to tell you, or did you need me to say it on audio? Is that what you need me to tell you? We've got water pipes here of all kinds. We got hookahs, everything starting from $19.99 and up here at VSS West Pines. anything and everything you need to enjoy all of your CBD products. Come on out here, man. Any of your tobacco products, come on out here. VSS West Pines, 12397, Pembroke Road. Come get your own water bong. There you go. Let's see. Go Gator says, that's right. Take Derek Brown, build the trenches before taking a QB. You take Derek Brown, I got no problem with that either. That's a good player. Let's see. What do we have here? Mad Dog says, didn't the Finns pick up 2 more picks? Yes, 4th and 7th rounders. NorCal says, Greer knows talent and so excited about this offseason. Finns for life. I'm with you, NorCal. I have never been more excited about the Dolphins in the last 25 years than I am in the last year. Since they took over last year, I love what they did. I love what they're doing. I love what they're going to do down the line. I just think we're headed for bigger and better things finally. Finally. This whole crap that we've gone through the last 20, 25 years, it's over, bro. Better days ahead for your Miami Dolphins. GPP Central says Miami should draft Simmons at 5, Epinesa at 18, and Delpit at 26. I like the Delpit kid. Epinesa, again, as long as I just think you shouldn't imagine Epinesa to be this 10-plus sack guy. A badass defensive end against the run and help you in the pass rush, but I don't think he's going to be a monster pass rusher. Let's see, what else do we have here? Apparently, people forgot how the Saints laughably screwed up trading all their picks for Ricky Williams. Yes. Monaco from the Bronx says it's a 50, or how about Minnesota trading all their picks for Herschel Walker? Okay. That didn't work out for them. Mike Monaco said it's a 50-50 shot at number 1 for every bad QB you mentioned. 3 Peyton Mannings, John Elway, and Andrew Luck, etc. Yeah, but I can come up with more busts than you can come up with success stories. Okay? Because you named 3, I named a lot more than 3. There's more than that. When you talk about guys that are taken really high in the draft.
Right now, Jameis Winston, number 1.
Yeah. No, and Mariota was number 2.
You know what? I forgot about that bag. Yeah, the two played in the national championship game against each other.
Yeah, and Vince Young was a big-ass draft pick, too. He had one of the greatest college football games against
him
USC.
Against USC, yes.
Well, that's one of the greatest college's performances ever, and he was a waste.
Where are you at with Cam? Look at Cam. Cam was good, got him into a Super Bowl, but...
Well, the injuries have kind of taken a toll.
I mean...
But he is what he is. It's not like Cam's a great athlete playing quarterback. He's not a great quarterback. You know what I mean? Because he'll never be a great passer. So, Big O, you would take Jalen Hurts. I guess you're being facetious. You're being funny. Mike Monaco says, I'll take Chasen at 18 if he's there. Let's see. John Rouse says, sound went down again. Sound, they're mentioning. Volume. So, I don't know. Yeah, it is. It is low. It's working, but it is low. So, there you go. All right. Let's see. Monaco says, my mom's friend said she hooked up with Big O in high school. What's her name? I need to know. There were a lot of them in high school, bro. I had a lot of fun in high school. I don't know who she is, but you got to tell me. You got to tell me, did we do it under a bridge in Hialeah? Did we do it, let's see, at Hallover Park in one of the lifeguard shacks? Did we do it at the airport while we're watching the planes? We weren't really watching a lot of planes. Yeah, right by the Aero Squadron, right down the street. Did we do it at the Jamaica Inn on 8th Street or something? The Executive Hotel? I mean, I could come up with a lot of places. Hell, I did it in Modern Age one day. I went right behind one of the living room sets and did it at Modern Age. I did it at the Riviera Theater in the balcony and the movie that was playing was A Little Sex. How do you like that? I had a very active high school. So you got to tell me, I don't know where. What's that name of that park by Bird Road? And right off the train tracks?
Well, it's the one that's not tropical. It's the other way.
Yeah, it's
off of 67th Ave. There used to be an Amico. Yeah, I remember that a few times.
I remember a stop there in high school.
That was a good day.
Did we do it at the Waikiki Hotel? Did we do it at Marco Polo?
No, if you remember, we left everybody the room. Our parents were out of town. We went home.
Yeah.
You went to your house. I went to mine. And we came back.
Yeah.
Left everybody at our hotel room.
That's right. And, it's I got around, bro.
Dude, that's when you're coming to my house and over the railroad tracks and you cracked one of the T-tops off on the 280.
Right. That's right, yeah. Flying over the damn, the railroad tracks makes you fly.
You had gotten rid of your girl. I had gotten rid of mine. You were coming to the house to pick me up, and, yeah, on the way you cracked the T.
Yeah. I had an active high school, so I don't know. You got to give me a name. Give me a name. I won't say it on the air. You could DM me, and I could give you the yay or nay. But yeah, we were pretty active in high school. We were a little crazy in high school. All in fun, but thank the Lord that the crazy diseases weren't around in those days. The days when if you just picked up a little gonorrhea, you just got a penicillin shot and you were done. Not that I ever got it, but the days where venereal diseases were the worst thing that you could pick up, and a penicillin shot would fix it. Those were the days. Ah, yes. Big O Schefter's reporting Dolphins to release Rashad Jones, freeing up $5.3 million. Dude, that's not news. That's expected. They don't need Rashad Jones. That's not news. That was going to come at one point or another. Bless him. He was a great Dolphin for a long, long time. It's time to move on. Art of the Sport says, Big O, how many baby mamas do you have? 0. I got one wife, one daughter, and that's it, bro. It ends there. And I said I had an active high school, okay? Because he said that, we hooked up in high school. I had a very active high school, okay? I'm very boring as an adult.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, I'm just, I had my fun in high school. There's no doubt about that. Tons of fun. Volume gone again, bro. All right, I don't know what, let me see. Well, that's not latest. That's like a few minutes ago. So, yeah. Okay. There's some there. It's working now. I don't know what's going on, guys. I have no idea, but I raised it now and it's working. So there is sound there. What else do we have? Simmons would be a strong safety. We already have our middle linebackers, and he's not an edge rusher either. Put him at strong safety. He's fast enough to cover. No, he can do weak side linebacker. He can play weak side. He can play safety. He can play corner. He covers. You got to remember, Cheyenne, if a linebacker or a safety has cover skills, these guys are going to want them. Okay, because that's kind of what they want to be able to disguise coverages, and they want to be able to have flexibility. Where if there is some kind of a switch offensively that their defenders also have to switch, and they end up on different matchups, that they have the skill sets to cover. Because sometimes that team is trying to create a mismatch so they can get the guy that they can expose. And they're trying to limit that as much as possible. Last year it was impossible because they tore the team down to the bone. So by doing that, you're not going to have a lot of flexibility. But notice now, when you see draft picks that they're going to get and players they're going to get, those players are at those positions that I'm talking about, linebacker, safety, they need to have cover skills. They don't want guys in there that are two down linebackers that all they do is go against the run and they can't cover and all. They won't do, like our boy from the University of Miami. There is no shot he gets drafted by the Miami Dolphins. None. Okay, and Shaq is a great guy. Quarterman is a fantastic player against the run, but he can't cover.
Kiko, what was the guy with us?
Kiko Alonso. He can't cover a line. Can't cover a tight end. They got rid of his ass.
That night, the Raiders tight end 11 catches in a row.
They brought Vince Beagle in because they go, okay, what we need, we can use Vince. We can't use Kiko because he can't cover. So Simmons does fit what the Dolphins do, actually. And he can't play middle linebacker. I agree with you there. I don't want to play him on the strong side, but I can't play him on the weak side. And by the way, I could line him up strong side if I'm worried about the tight end that goes out a lot on pass coverage. I could do that too a little bit at times if I want to. So Simmons does fit what they do because he has a special skill set and throughout the year, what priorities they have with certain. Look at Eric Rowe. Eric Rowe really could not play corner at a high level on a consistent basis. So they put him in a spot where he would cover tight ends because tight ends aren't nearly as shifty as wide receivers. So they found a skill set for him that works. This is what they're going to do. So Simmons does fit what they do. Let's see. Says Leo says, it feels like the sound is a bit garbled, like overmodulation. All right. Oh, Richard Casella says Amelia Earhart Park. Hit that too. Not Amelia, but, had some fun at Amelia. Listen, I was having fun at Amelia Earhart Park before it was called Amelia Earhart Park. Okay? When we used to go back there to go to the lake and the rope in Amelia Earhart Park. Anybody did that back in the day? They had a big-ass rope that you would swing and dive out there in the lake back in the day.
Got caught in a sandstorm with the dune that was to the west.
Oh, yeah.
And the wind blowing behind the buildings, man. And, being down with your bike and having to get on the other side of that mountain because the sand was whipping your butt.
Yeah. Back in the day. Yeah, we old, man. It was a long time ago. The 80s was a long, long time ago, man. Oh, early 80s, by the way. It was a long, long time ago. Mike Dominguez says, is that what we're going to do with Deion Jordan? Cheyenne Moore says, he can be an outside linebacker in a 4-3, but not the classic outside linebacker in a 3-4. We're not no, he can be a 3-4 weak side guy. No, that's not true. You can put him in a position where he's going to cover a lot or rush the passer at times. If you need him to do that as an extra pass rusher in a blitzing situation where he's kind of the guy that comes in uncovered, you can do that like you do with corners. I think you can be creative with Simmons is a monster athlete. So you can do different things with him. T-Bone says, hey, Big O, take a lineman any day over a linebacker. I'm with you. Definitely. At 5, I like Simmons, but I want a lineman. No, I'm with you 1,000%. I'm just not the guy that's going to diss Simmons. He's a player. I like him, man. I think he's a player. Okay? Am I going to take Tristan Wirfs or Brown over him at 5? Yes. No doubt about it. But I do like Simmons. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, no, that guy's not a good player. No, that guy's a hell of a player. Let's see. Mike Dominguez says, are you excited to see any of these young guys on the Marlins this year? Yeah, man. Hell yeah. I know they sent my boy Jazz Chisholm down to the minors, but, yeah, I'm definitely dying. And they sent him to AAA, so that means they're close to coming back. Yes, no doubt I want to see these Marlins. I want to see a lot of these young guys do their thing, and hopefully, everything we'll see these guys develop. And more importantly, they say they're going to sign guys. So that's when I think we get to really, Like, you don't need Stephen Ross to tell you that they're going to spend because you see it. You don't. Vinny Viola and Doug Sifu are spending. They're really good owners, man. Okay, they may have hired the wrong guy, and well, they didn't hire him. They may have inherited the wrong guy in Dale Talon, and now they may have to make a change. But what doesn't have to change about Viola and Sifu is they're about winning, man. They want to win. They want to spend. They're going to do whatever it takes to do it. So you got to admire the hell out of that. And by the way, I went over 12 o'clock. Or did I break at the top of the hour? I didn't break, right? I don't think I did. I think I've been going for another 45 minutes. Anyway, so they've got to prove that they're going to spend. Look, Jorge Mas and Beckham, they don't got to prove it. I mean, they've already spent $60 million on that stadium that they have now. The players they have, and they're looking for 2 more international players to put that team over the top. And they've got a third property, and they're trying to build on the second one at Miami Freedom to get that. So money's not an issue there either. Mickey Arison doesn't need to prove to you that they're going to spend. You know that if Mickey has the opportunity to bring in a star, he's going to do it. If he can bring in 2 stars or 3, he'll do it. Whatever it takes to win. They don't want to spend irresponsibly, but they will spend if it takes if it means that they got a shot at a championship. Okay? And that's the only thing that's left for the Marlins now. The Marlins now have to prove to us, one, that they can draft and develop players, and then second, that when those players develop, that they're going to keep them around so you keep a core. That's it. But yeah, hell yeah, I'm excited to see all these guys. No doubt. And see Brian Anderson, too, who might not be considered some kind of a future star, but, man, I love watching that guy play. He's fun to watch. That's one of those guys that you can admire because he plays the game the right way. So, yeah, there's no doubt. We'll talk Marlins here on the show. We'll be at Marlins next week, I believe, right? Is it next week?
I think it's Wednesday.
Yeah, next Wednesday. Yeah. Tuesday, we're here at VSS West Pines. Wednesday, we're at the Marlins. So there you go. Yeah, so we'll be at Marlins. I think it's Marlins Nationals, I want to say, next week. I want to say that Wednesday game is Marlins Nationals. Next Wednesday, we're at Marlins. So if you are going out to the Marlins at Jupiter next Wednesday, come on by and say hi. We'll be out there at 9 a.m. broadcasting live. That means I'm leaving my house like at 6 a.m. Something like that. T-Bone says, do you have any rumors on who the Fish are going after in free agency? I do like the Dolphins brass, Greer, McKenzie, and Allen and Flo. I hope they succeed and break barriers. I'm with you, man. I think it's I'm pretty much convinced that this is going to be a great front office. And they're going to do a lot of good things here, and they're going to bring the Dolphins back to respectability. I really believe that. And, yes, we've talked about that on this show. What this means to black coaches, to black front office executives is priceless. No doubt about it. Because if these guys succeed, it will, you know how it is, we're a copycat league, and so some of these other guys, and again, I said it before, I'll say it again, kudos to Stephen Ross, because you have the RISE program, but you also have to prove to people that you're about equality. And here's a man that's giving minorities the ultimate opportunity to run his franchise. And this is a strong signal that if they do succeed, it's going to help out the black community of coaches and personnel executives. They're all rooting for these guys to succeed. Every one of them. I mean, if you're smart, if you got a brain, if you're selfish and you're an idiot, you know you're rooting against them. But if you're smart and you got a brain, I think most of us want them to succeed because it just means a lot to a lot of people that deserve it, man. There's a lot of coaches that don't get an opportunity. There's a lot of women in this world that deserve jobs that they don't get because they're women. And we do this in our society in all kinds of ways. It's not just an NFL thing. It's about treating people how they deserve to be treated and rewarding them. You know what I mean? I saw somebody got all bent out of shape with me. Most people understood that I was, tongue in cheek a little bit, and there was a little truth to it also. But somebody was like, it was a tweet that at McDonald's that they want to raise it to $15 an hour or something like that. And I retweeted back, great, $15 an hour to get the order wrong. Because, basically that's what's going on when you go to McDonald's. They want to get $15 an hour. Some guy got all bent out of shape and was like, well, that's not right. They should be rewarded. And I go, rewarded for what? For incompetence? I love how, you deserve to get rewarded. Well, why should you deserve to be rewarded if you're not a good employee? I'm not sure why you should be rewarded for that. It's crazy. $15 an hour. Hey, I don't mind if you're a good worker. Go for it. But automatically, I don't know. If you've been to fast food joints, except for Chick-fil-A, and those of you that are, watching out west and listening out west, Chick-fil-A and In-N-Out Burger are the only two fast food joints that I would take out of that equation. All the other fast food joints, would you really pay every employee $15 an hour? Do they really deserve $15 an hour? There have been times that I go to a fast food establishment, and I say, my grilled chicken sandwich. I want a chicken sandwich. I want lettuce and tomatoes only. And through the speaker comes back and says, "You want chicken also with that, right?" Yeah, dude, it's a chicken sandwich. What do you think I want? Just bread and lettuce and tomatoes only? So we're going to give that guy $15 an hour? I feel bad for those fast food joints that the people that you have to hire sometimes. Okay? $15 an hour. I get it. We got to raise the minimum for some people, but let's also try to earn it too. Chris Greer, by the way, released a statement on Rashad Jones. We want to thank Rashad for everything he has done for the Miami Dolphins. I have known Rashad since spending time with him at Georgia and have been impressed with everything he's been able to accomplish. We wish him the best moving forward. By the way, is that Chris Greer saying, I drafted his ass? Like I suggested him? We want to thank Rashad for everything he has done for the Miami Dolphins. I have known Rashad since spending time with him at Georgia. Is that Chris Greer kind of telling you, like in a backhanded way, hey, just so you know, this is one of my guys. 5th-round pick. Turned out to be a pretty good 5th-round pick. I'm just saying. T-Bone says, Wilkins is a culture setter. He is what a leader is all about, dude. He was on the field way too much and still played great. What if Derek Brown in the 5th next to Wilkins? Watch out. Oh, I love Wilkins. Wilkins did really good for a young guy, man. I don't know if this guy T-Bone was going back and forth with somebody else on the chat board here. Although Michael Pulisic goes, Big O, not every Mickey D's employee gets things wrong. That's not fair. I didn't say every. I just said you can't pay every employee. I said I don't mind paying you if you're good, but you run into a lot of them that screw up in McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's or Taco Bell. Like I said, pay everybody at In-N-Out Burger and at Chick-fil-A $15 an hour. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Be honest now. Compare the employee at Chick-fil-A and compare the employee at Burger King, McDonald's, and Wendy's. Enough said. I'm done. I'm over. That's it. That's my point. Okay? That's all. 99.9% of those employees at Chick-fil-A, they get it right. On the Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's side, even Taco Bell, I don't know what the percentage is, but it ain't anywhere near 99%. The politeness, the way they handle everything. I mean, come on, man. You pull up to Burger King or McDonald's or Wendy's, you get rudeness, you get cluelessness, you get all kinds of crap. All the time. Attitude. Oh, man. You get to Chick-fil-A, there's a smile, there's a positive attitude always, all that stuff. It's night and day. They are better at identifying their employees. They are better at training their employees, and that's it. And that's why they're a way better company overall. Run. I don't care about the politics. That's a whole different other conversation if you want to get into that part. I'm just talking about employees, period. I don't think one damn person can argue with me when you have your Chick-fil-A experience compared to all your other experiences. Okay? I'm just saying. Let's if you want to call it like we see it, let's do it. And NorCal goes, fast food kills more than Corona. Just say no to junk food. No, okay, that's fine too. That's fine. You want to? I can't argue with a lot of that, but that's not what the conversation's about. Okay, just saying. Let's see. So Mike Monaco says, so you have about 30 people working an hour. Good luck to the 15 working. No, Mike. No. You just did not listen to what I said. What they need to do is do what Chick-fil-A does. Be better at identifying your employees. And train them the right way. And if they don't want to be trained the right way, then you get rid of them. Somehow or another at Chick-fil-A, they're able to find their employees. You tell me why the other places don't. I'm just saying. Go to In-N-Out Burger, go to Chick-fil-A, and then compare that to all the other experiences. It's night and day. So they find their 30 employees. Why can't McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's find their 30 employees too? So, let's see, what else do we have? Casella says Rashad was a good player, but too much of a cap. Oh, yeah, no, at this point, well, remember, he's got a bum shoulder. He's dealing with a bunch of injuries now. You got the most out of Rashad already, okay? Rashad was an incredibly successful pick at 5th round for many years. Last couple of years, it's time. Unfortunately, it's time, man. It sucks. We would like to keep. I would love to see Rashad be a better player and fit more what they do. And here's the thing: Rashad is not a good cover guy. So we just had this conversation about cover guys. You know what I'm saying? We do have a loaded show at the top of the hour. Manny Navarro is going to join us at 1. Andre Fernandez will join us at 1:30. Michelle Kaufman will join us at 2 o'clock. So we've got a whole bunch of things to talk about with them here on the program. We got the Heat back in action tonight, taking on the Hornets. We've got, Jimmy Butler still dealing with that toe injury coming from the ankle, whatever. Jay Crowder, I think, should be clearing concussion protocol today. Let's hope so. Tyler Hero's supposed to be going to be coming back now. You got Duncan Robinson. Did you guys read that Barry Jackson article on Duncan Robinson? That's pretty cool. Now, it's pretty cool for him pretty lame for Dunkin' Donuts apparently, because they were approached. The agent approached Dunkin' Donuts about a sponsorship with Duncan Robinson. So Dunkin' Donuts, the national coffee and donut chain, now merely called Dunkin', launched the most successful ad campaign in its 69-year history, America Runs on Dunkin'. So the sharpshooting Duncan Robinson had an idea. How about the company incorporate him in South Florida's ads? Something like Miami runs on Dunkin' or South Florida runs on Dunkin'. His agent, Josh Glushon, called the company. For whatever reason, they weren't interested. I thought it would be fun. That was the one company I thought would be pretty cool. I'm trying to plug the Dunkin' Donut thing. Miami runs on Dunkin'. It's not going to sell so well right now. We'll see. So and I got to say something. That would have been a really cool promotion for Duncan Robinson, for Dunkin' Donuts. It's a nice way of kind of, teaming up. They could have made a Duncan Robinson donut, man. That's like a 3. A glazed donut that's a 3 for Duncan Robinson. That would have gone, I bet you a bunch of people would go buy the 3 donut. I think that would be a cool thing. Donut shaped like a 3. And think about it. It's a great dipping donut. If it's shaped like a 3, you can make an old-fashioned 3 so you can dip. I love the old-fashions. Glaze and old-fashioned. Those are the 2 donuts I eat. That's it. Nothing else. I'm boring as hell. Glaze and old-fashioned. Those are my favorites. They have the old-fashioned donut stick. Make it a 3 instead for Dunkin' Donuts, for Duncan Robinson. I don't know. Yeah, that could have gone, man. That could be something really, really cool. Troy Ortiz says, Big O, the minimum wage hasn't increased in like 20 years. You're not understanding my point. They're not getting it. What's it called, Troy? I'm not talking about, I don't mind raising the minimum wage. I'm just saying that when I go to Burger King, McDonald's, and Wendy's and Taco Bell, there's a lot of screw-ups. Okay? That's all I'm saying. It's hard for me to reward incompetence. I'm not a guy that really tolerates incompetence a lot. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that there's probably plenty of employees that deserve the $15. But from my experiences, there's a lot of employees in Taco Bell, McDonald's, Wendy's, and Burger King that don't even come close to enjoying the $15 an hour. That's all I'm saying. That's it. I just told you that everybody in Chick-fil-A deserves the money. Because that's my experience. Those are impeccable employees, just like In-N-Out Burger. Just like the last listener. Well, if 15 of the 30 are good employees, so you don't want to pay those guys? Oh, I feel sorry for the only 15 that are. No, it's up to Burger King to go find 15 other good ones. That's all I'm saying. I mean, Chick-fil-A can do it. You can do it too. Don't just give work to anybody, and don't just give anybody $15 an hour. Just not into rewarding incompetence. That's all. Hope that's, pretty clear for you guys. Let's see.
I have a little announcement.
What's that?
Manny Navarro is actually going to join us here at VSS.
Oh, he's going to come by?
He said it'd take about 20 minutes to get here. He's on his way.
All right, I like it. All right. There we go. So at 1 o'clock, we'll have Manny live.
Be privileged. Graces us with his presence.
We have the great Manny Navarro come in here live. All right, let's take a quick break. It's 12:30. We are live at VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. I've been talking for an hour. Let me take a break. My voice needs it. Back with more.
Title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com. A travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
We are back. Gave me a couple minutes there. Appreciate you all hanging in there. As always, thank you very much. As we take you, of course, till about 3 o'clock, something like that. We're out here at VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Manny Navarro will be joining us here at the top of the hour. He's going to come in live, so we'll have him out here. Let's see. What do we have? We got a bunch of stuff that I want to talk about here on the program. We talked a little bit about the Dolphins and the compensatory picks. Did you guys see that Gronk is close to a deal with the WWE? And listen, I don't think any of us are surprised with that. Like, some people said, well, Gronk's leaving because he's going to be a movie star. And I had a hard time believing that because he's not really much of a talker. He's kind of a character and he's a meathead, but he's not really I don't think he is an ad-lib guy. Like, The Rock is a really smart guy, and he can ad-lib. He's got personality and all that. Gronk is probably more of a character, but more in a goofball type way, more than anything else. And then, so the story says that Gronk has long shown an interest in professional wrestling. He's been in the ring a couple times having some fun with these guys. So apparently, Pro Wrestling Sheet's Ryan Satin reported that WWE Backstage Tuesday that Gronk is close to finalizing a deal at WWE. According to multiple sources, Gronkowski is in deep talks with WWE, close to finalizing a deal. The capacity in which he would be used is unclear at this time. He could make an appearance as early as March 20th on Friday Night SmackDown in New Orleans. Gronk helped Mojo Rawley win. Oh, I don't even want to hear. I don't even. When you start talking about the fights itself, I don't even want to hear about them because they're not real
Come on,
fights.
man. They're so real.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the one thing that I would bring up on all of this. I'm going to assume this, and I could be 1,000% wrong, but I don't think he's going to be a full-fledged wrestler. Maybe he's a side character to all this crap that goes on or something. I don't watch this thing on a religious basis or anything like that. I don't really care about wrestling. But I do know this about wrestling, okay? This is the part that I do respect the hell out of it with wrestling. These people are tough. These people are athletic. These people are gifted. Okay, the way they fly around a ring, the way they throw their bodies all over the place on those mats and on tables and everything else, Gronk doesn't have the body, and his back is all screwed up. I just don't see him, doing the crap that all these wrestlers do, from throwing yourself up in the air and coming down on your back so you can hit him with your elbow, or that leg thing that Hulk Hogan used to do and all that. Hulk told me in an interview that his back is shot because of that move that he made his entire career, that he regrets it now. That move he made famous, I forgot what the hell it's called. I don't watch wrestling. But that's the only thing that I would say about Gronk becoming a wrestler. I don't know if that's health-wise. I mean, that's why he quit football, because his body was – that's the one thing that I give wrestlers a lot of credit. They put their bodies through hell. And remember, they're performing every week, 40, 50 times a year. So they're not getting all these breaks and all that. No, man, they put their bodies through freaking hell. So that part, I know that they're super tough. I know they're super athletic. I'm never going to take that away from them. The bottom line is, I know it's not real. So that's where you lose me. And look, the way they fight, can you imagine if it was real? People would die. So they can't. And if wrestling was real, how many injuries would you have when the guy's standing on the top of the ring and he jumps up in the air and he does whatever on somebody that's on the floor? That would be catastrophic. That would be super brutal. But obviously it's not, because it's rigged. The hits are rigged. The matches are rigged. All that stuff. That's why I have no interest in it. But I did see where he, could be the guy. Headed to WWE. Let's see, what else do we have here? Peter says, I have diarrhea. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I was gone for diarrhea. You got me, Peter. Myron goes, Gronk is not Dwayne Johnson. Gronk is nothing but a clown. Right, and I think that maybe that's what he'll be, like a clown, like at WWE. Big O, why is it just me, or is it that Troy Aikman demanding Joe Buck to introduce him as the 3-time Super Bowl winning Hall of Fame QB? Why? Well, I guess they have a close relationship, man. That's the only thing I can think of. I have no idea. That's who he's comfortable with. I mean, Jimmy didn't want him initially. So I don't know if, he had to be convinced by Gil Brandt to take him. And then obviously they built their relationship after that. So maybe he doesn't feel right about him doing it. So he picked Joe Buck. I didn't know that, by the way. You're breaking that story to me. I had no idea that was the case. Interesting. By the way, we're at VSS West Pines. For those of you that like to skateboard, or if you're looking for a new skateboard without the trucks and the wheels, you got to go buy that. But if you're looking for a board, which I think these are really hard to find nowadays, they still have a couple here. There you go. A raw skateboard. How about that? You can enjoy your CBD while you're on the board. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? It's pretty cool. It's a big-ass board, too, man. Holy crap.
That's a cruiser board.
Yeah. A lot of cruising going on in that board. Holy moly. Damn. That's a big-ass board right there. So there you go. They got so many. That's why I tell you, it's not just the CBD products. Okay, it's not just your pipes, your water pipes. I mean, they've got everything here. They've got so many different items that would, freak you out. That's why I got one of you out there bought us the Rush lunchbox that you see in my studio all the time, from lunch boxes to all kinds of different types of items. I've shown you some of these animals that they have embalmed in their in jars. They've got all kinds of really cool pipes. I'm telling you, bags also for everybody carries some kind of a bag. They've got all kinds of different funky bags that are really, really cool out here. That's why I'm telling you, the VSS West Pines, when you come out here, you're going to see all kinds of different things. It does remind me a lot of Spencer's and Barefoot Mailman in a way, because they've got all kinds of different items that you just wouldn't expect. That's why. So it has a little bit of that Spencer's Barefoot Mailman feel to it when you start looking around going, what is this? What is this? What is this? It's, because you just think traditional head shop, and that's not what it is. You know what I mean? And that's where these guys and ladies take it to astronomical levels. Okay? Plus great music always, great atmosphere, really knowledgeable people. That's the other thing, that when you're going to buy CBD products, you want people that actually know what the hell they're talking about, and then, I need it for pain. They give you what's for pain, what's for anxiety, what you need to sleep. Different things, different needs that we have. They can help you, with those needs. So come on out here, 12397 Pembroke Road in Pembroke Pines, and tell them that I sent you, and I promise you, will definitely take care of you. So the other thing, the coronavirus. We talked about some of the events that have been closing because of the coronavirus. The XFL now is dealing with an issue. Why? The Seattle Dragons, the coronavirus now, we all know Washington State has become the epicenter of it, right? So Jay Inslee reported now that according to the Seattle Times, they announced that on Wednesday, a ban of gathering of more than 250 people in King Snohomish, I think is how it's pronounced, and Pierce counties. The XFL Seattle Dragons won't be playing their home games at home unless they do it in an empty stadium. The total number of persons in a building presumably would have to be kept under 250, which would require a skeleton crew approach the teams, stadium operations, and broadcasting. The Seattle Dragons are due to host the LA Wildcats this weekend. The Dragons declined to comment to the Times, but the team is expected to make an announcement on Wednesday that the Dragons have attracted more than 20,000 to CenturyLink Field for each of their two home games. A stadium concession worker recently tested positive for COVID-19. So they're going to have just the people that work there are going to be there. It's going to be the teams, the broadcasters, a couple of stadium people, and that's it. That'll be 250 when it's all said and done. And Seattle, attendance-wise, they're number 2 in the league at 25,616. That's their average. I mean, they do, and their team sucks. I think Seattle might be the worst team in the league. And they're second in attendance. St. Louis is number 1 at 28,541. Seattle is second at 25,616. You know what's interesting about the XFL attendance? Los Angeles is the worst drawing team at 13,124, and the New York Guardians is number 2 at 14,875. the two biggest cities, media markets and everything, are the worst draws in the XFL. St. Louis, Seattle, they average 28 and 25. These guys are at 13 and 14. Houston's third at 18-2-3. Dallas is at 17. DC's at 16. Tampa's at 15-1-8. And then you've got the Giants at 14-8 and LA at 13-1. Interesting how the two biggest markets are the worst draws for the XFL. And now Seattle may not be able to host their fans because of what's going on with COVID-19. That's crazy. They did expand the rosters, by the way, from 52 to 57 now. So they added more players for the second half of the season. So XFL with they're being already affected now by the coronavirus. Okay? I don't know if you heard this, but they plan to unveil a Baker Mayfield statue at the spring game in Oklahoma. Did you guys hear about this? This is interesting, right? Oklahoma will unveil a statue of 2017 Heisman Trophy winner Baker Mayfield in its spring game April 18th. Oklahoma coach Lincoln Riley said the statue will be unveiled inside the Gaylord Family Memorial Stadium before being placed in the Heisman Park outside the stadium. Oklahoma has 7 Heisman winners. 5 of them, Billy Vessels, Steve Owens, Billy Sims, Jason White, and Sam Bradford. They already have statues in the park. Kyler Murray, the 2018 Heisman winner, does not have a statue yet. Mayfield, the number 1 overall pick in the 18 draft, is the starting quarterback for the Browns. So I would imagine that Murray will get his statue next year. Now, I was thinking about this. So you're going to add a Baker Mayfield statue to the place. So I'm wondering, how's that Baker Mayfield statue going to look like? Is it him grabbing his crotch like he famously did in an Oklahoma uniform? Is it him planting a flag in the middle of the field at 50-yard line? Is it a drunken Baker Mayfield stumbling and not being able to outrun the cops when they arrested him for, public drunkenness or public intoxication, as they say? I'm just wondering, which famous moment are we using for Baker Mayfield and that statue? That's all. Just wondering. There are a lot of interesting moments with Baker Mayfield there in Oklahoma. Just say it. If you're going to put a statue, I just thought it would be pretty cool. He's standing there and he's just holding his crotch.
Maybe you could do like that animation, like separation, and you do one shot of this, one shot of that, one shot of this.
Multiple statues?
Yeah.
A progression?
Progression.
Okay.
And you do it, by date.
Where he's running, and then the cop tackles him, and then they arrest him. Okay. I can do that.
Do the crotch one.
That's a lot of statues.
It's a
lot of that's a big investment there.
He's a special character.
That's a big investment there for Baker Mayfield.
That's a special character.
Yeah, no doubt.
And his commercials, his commercials covers that.
There you go. Maybe the statue should be him, counting the different bathroom stalls. I mean, he does play like a toilet because he turned over the ball like crazy last year. I don't know. I'm just saying. I mean, if you're going to have a Baker Mayfield statue, let's have some fun with it. Folks, don't forget to give us a thumbs up on the broadcast. And also, more importantly, share the link. Send the YouTube link to a friend, a family member, put it on social media. Tell folks we're here every single day. Manny Navarro is set to join us live here on the program. We're going to have some fun with Manny. We'll talk all things University of Miami with him. Always love having Manny on with our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. We normally do it on Tuesdays, and we tried to do it yesterday, but we had some technical snafus, so we weren't able to do it. Let's do this. Let's take a quick break. We'll get ready for Manny Navarro. We'll get it all set up here, and hopefully when we come back, Manny Navarro from The Athletic, we will have our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report on the other side. Before we do that, let me tell you a little bit about Toyota of Hollywood. We'll be there tomorrow broadcasting live. #1 volume sales dealership when it comes to Toyotas in the Southeast United States. They've been killing the competition for years, man. Over 400,000 square feet. It's a state-of-the-art facility. And what I love is when you have 1,500 cars and trucks, that means you, the customer, you're going to walk over there and you're going to get the car you want, the color you want, the model you want, the style you want, but more importantly, the price you want, because that's what they do over there at Toyota of Hollywood. They take care of you, man. Steve Ostrov and company, nobody does it better than them, man. They're open till midnight. That's why they outwork everybody. So if you get home late from work and, you get home at 5 or 6 and you're like, what dealership is going to be open? They're going to close at 7 or 8. I don't have enough time. These guys are open till midnight. You have plenty of time to get on down there, get a test drive in, drive the new Tacoma, drive the new, whatever it is you're looking for, a Corolla, a Camry, a Supra. Go check it out. Go check out the large selection. They even got multiple Supras too. So it's not like they only have one. Like some dealerships have none. Maybe some have one. These guys have several. Get on down, 1841 North State Road 7. Finest Toyota dealership on the planet. It is Toyota of Hollywood.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SCT, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorocktillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorocktillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show.
All righty. We're back here at VSS West Pines. We're waiting my man Manny Navarro to join us for the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. He should be coming in any minute now. I see where in football news, Elliot Wolf, who is Ron Wolf's son, has joined the Patriots as a consultant. And it's interesting, right? Because Elliot is one of those guys that was kind of groomed to be a general manager, and along with Alonzo Highsmith. And these are two guys, and obviously Zoe's one of those guys that I'm a big fan of. And I know they thought about bringing him here to the University of Miami, which I think would have been a complete waste of his talents, to be honest with you. I think he deserves a shot as a GM. But it's interesting that Elliot Wolf and Alonzo Highsmith both leave Green Bay because obviously they didn't have a future as the general manager there because they already had one in place, and he's going to be there for a while. So they go to Cleveland, right? And then Cleveland has their changes, and they're both, let go. And Zoe immediately ends up, after a couple weeks, ends up in Seattle with the Seahawks, which is a hell of a franchise. And Elliot Wolf now gets hired by the Patriots as a consultant. And it shows you the respect that both guys have. Because sometimes, some of you out there, you have this misconception sometimes that because a guy's been hired multiple times, he must be a bad employee or a bad football guy or whatever. If you keep getting hired, it's because they know you're not the problem. Okay? Because no, you'll get people like, I've had people like, well, if Alonzo Highsmith was so good, why did the Cleveland Browns let him? It's the Cleveland Browns. Some people are incompetent. What are you going to do? You can't do anything about it. If you've never been in that situation and you've never experienced it, I can't help you. But those of you that have had that opportunity to do that, then yeah, you can obviously, you know what I'm talking about. Okay? But that's why I'm saying that it's not as easy as you make it out to be, because some people will look at it and say, oh, well, Elliot Wolf and Alonzo Highsmith are failures. No, they're not, dude. That's why Seattle wants them, and that's why New England wants them, because they, they're good employees. They're good football people. And those guys, at one point or another, they deserve a shot as GMs. They should get one. So we'll see. All right, Manny Navarro is here. Manny, wait a minute. Let's bring this closer to you. All right. And then we will pot it up, because I don't think we are, as Josh Gordon would say, I don't think we are potted up here for that. So now, are you potted up? Let's see. Go ahead, say something, Manny.
I'm good. I'm here.
There we go. All right, we got you, bro. How you doing?
Good, man. Just busy at home working.
It's because I was talking about this. I saw where Elliot Wolf got Ron Wolf's kid. Got hired as a consultant for the Patriots.
Okay.
And both he and Alonzo Highsmith were in Green Bay for a long time working their way up.
Right.
And, the thought was that they were being groomed to be one of the next GMs, but they didn't get that opportunity. They both went to Cleveland, and then Cleveland's a disaster. It is what it is, and they both lose their jobs. But then people, like I've had people tell me, well, you were a big proponent for Alonzo Highsmith, even for the Dolphins. Well, if he's so good, why he's losing his job? Well, Alonzo got hired right away by Seattle.
Right.
And now Elliott gets hired by the Patriots to be a consultant.
Yeah.
And sometimes people have a misconception that if somebody gets hired multiple times or they lose a job multiple times over the years, that they must be a bad employee. No, it's the furthest thing from the truth, dude. They're actually an excellent employee. That's why they keep getting hired. Because they know that sometimes the situation you were in, it wasn't your fault. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
I think the fact they keep getting hired just shows you that, they're football people, man. They respect each other. They respect what the other guy does. If they don't have a job, if they have to go back to somewhere else, go down to the college level, go to the high school level, then there's something's not right. But the fact that Alonzo stayed in the NFL this whole time, the fact that he got picked up by Seattle pretty much instantaneously, just shows you that he's well respected at what he does. And look, man, the guy knows what he does. I saw him at the Combine. He was busy working, he is who he is.
He knows his stuff, dude.
Yeah.
I know he knows his stuff. Mm-hmm. Look, there's a reason why Chris Greer kept being kept by all the GMs. Because obviously he was giving them some good advice. They just weren't taking all the good advice, and they were doing their own. But because I try to tell Dolphins that, dude, there's a reason why he sticks around. Because if the next guy takes over, they know what he did. And did you see the release on Rashad Jones?
Yeah, I just saw they cut him, right?
Right, but did you see what Chris Greer said?
No, I didn't see the quote.
To me, it's almost like it was almost like a backhanded shot, like to send to people like, yo, I am the stuff here. Mm-hmm. We want to thank Rashad for everything he has done for the Miami Dolphins. Here's the part. I have known Rashad since spending time with him at Georgia and have been very impressed with everything he's been able to accomplish. We wish him the best moving forward. That's Chris Greer telling you. That was my ass in Georgia.
Right, doing the work,
recruiting him, and then bring him in for a 5th-round pick, okay? We got 10 years out of this 5th-round pick, a couple Pro Bowl trips, okay?
Yep.
I don't know.
Listen.
That statement rubbed me, which I don't mind him doing it, but I try to explain to people that I think Chris Greer is actually a really good football guy. And that's a reason why, like what happened to Elliott, what happened to Alonzo, if they keep hiring you and they're keeping you around, it's because they must find out something about you.
There's no question.
They must know something about you.
Well, listen, once you're a good football guy, you're just good at evaluating talent. You're good at scouting. You do your job well.
Right.
I mean, it's not your fault if whoever the GM is or whoever the person in charge of making those picks makes a mistake. In the end, you can only provide the information. And that's what those guys do. They provide the information. Chris Greer now obviously has more in the decision-making process. But for years, I mean, how long was he feeding information to other guys?
Right. Exactly. And obviously he must have fed them some pretty good information at times, because every time the next guy comes in and evaluates everybody, they keep him. Mm-hmm. And finally, I think, Stephen Ross got smart and now gave him the opportunity, which this is just, and this is groundbreaking too, because there's every black coach and every black executive is sitting there rooting for the Miami Dolphins more than any team in the NFL to succeed.
Yeah.
Survive, succeed. Because what Stephen Ross is doing will become groundbreaking, because nobody's done this. Nobody's had a black head coach with a black front office.
First time for everything, right?
Right.
Dolphins might as well be at the forefront of that.
And you know how it is.
Mm-hmm.
One succeeds, everybody else wants
and everybody
to do
else copies it, right?
You know
exactly.
what I mean? So now tell me, what is Ed Reed going to do now? What is he doing lately? What kind of information is he providing to help the Miami Hurricanes?
Well, ironically enough, this first week of spring ball, he had already planned to be somewhere else. I guess vacation or whatever the case was. And he had told Manny Diaz when he took the job, look, the first week of spring ball, I'm not going to be around. According to Manny, he's going to be back when the team gets back on the field next week. So obviously last week was the first week of action. This week the kids are on spring break, so nobody's around the campus right now. And then next week we'll see what happens. But with this coronavirus thing, I'm interested to see how that affects everything and the way the University of Miami sort of handles visitors and having people around and so forth.
Did you, speaking of the coronavirus thing, did you catch the exchange between the reporter and the Liverpool
I did not.
Klopp, the Liverpool head coach?
I did not.
Jurgen Klopp?
I did not.
Oh man, it's do you have Jurgen Klopp's soundbite that I sent you? Can you play it? You have it there? Find it for me a second. Jurgen oh wait a minute, he's gonna need headsets because he won't be able to hear it.
Okay.
Jurgen was asked about the coronavirus and what they're doing, and I thought the coach, in one of the most classiest ways, kind of told them like, dude, you're being a hypocrite, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was basically saying, you're worried about everything that I have to do with the coronavirus, which I don't know anything about, and you're saying we got to clear out stadiums or whatever, but you're here covering us.
Right, exactly.
So you're here, that you took a plane to get here, you took all the risks. So you're asking us about risks, and yet who's asking you about your risks?
Right.
It was a way that he spun it that I thought was genius. You got to get him your headphones first before you play it so you can hear it. Okay? Oh.
All right.
Mine?
Okay.
I'll wear yours. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
And fire away.
Aren't you afraid that your players can get exposed?
Are you from Madrid? Are you from Madrid?
I'm from Argentina. I live in Madrid.
You live in Madrid. Okay. And are you concerned? In your city they close.
I'm not playing football tomorrow.
Oh, but that's not that special. So playing football is just a game. We are not the society. We are part of the society, and we should all be worried in the same time. And that's exactly the thing I don't like. That you sit here and ask me this question, but fly from Madrid to here. So stay there. They close schools and universities, but and you are obviously concerned. That's the question. But you think now football is worth it to travel or whatever. So that's the situation. That's our problem, our common problem, and we cannot sort it with football. We play football. That's our part. What we have to do. Your job is to transport information, and I hope you do it better than you ask questions, to be honest. Because that's the moment where I really get angry. When you give me the feeling I have a problem which you don't have. We have all the same problem.
Dude, that was awesome.
It was awesome.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Because he's right. The dude flew from Madrid, to be at that match. So you took every risk possible just to be there. You're also, you could be spreading it.
Yeah.
You don't know. I mean, I thought it was great.
Well, one thing I was going to say to this whole thing that is kind of ridiculous to me. To me, everything's going to get shut down pretty soon, right?
Yeah,
we're all going to have to be in our houses for several weeks, and everything that you saw happen in China is going to end up happening here, right? Where people just couldn't go outside anywhere because it's too risky. The funny thing I'm laughing at from yesterday was the NBA, right? We got to keep reporters out of our locker rooms. I get it. You want to keep everybody safe. The G League guys, the two-way players.
Yeah.
They got to take commercial flights. They don't go on private jets. So the same two-way players, are being exposed to everything else the public is, but yet they're still in the locker room.
Right. Yeah. And the fans are right
right.
And the fans are still on the sidelines too.
Look, the bottom line is you shut it down completely, or you don't shut it down at all.
Right.
Because either way, we all go somewhere. We don't know who. You don't know who I'm interacting with. I don't know who you're interacting with.
Right. Yeah.
At any point, you're being exposed to this thing. So
yes.
To me, it's an all or nothing thing, and all these little measures. To me, the NBA at a certain point, and I heard Brian Windhorst talking about this on ESPN this morning about how essentially the NBA is going to lose a ton of money if they try to play these games without fans. I mean, they make $100 million, for a playoff game with the amount of fans that come, how much they spend on tickets, how much they spend on everything. I mean, to me, sports leagues are just going to shut down, and until this thing is gone, then they'll resume. But it's going to throw our sports calendar off, and I wouldn't be surprised if some seasons just, people just say, forget it, season's over.
Yeah, I mean, well, definitely. If they're not money-producing type of leagues, big-time money-producing type leagues, XFL,
Right.
Yeah, because look what's going on with Seattle now. Did you see what they passed? You can't have over 250 people.
Right.
Seattle hosts LA this weekend.
Right.
They're averaging 25,616 people.
I'd imagine
So-
they'd move that game to LA, and there's going to be no more Seattle home games if they're still trying to make money.
Right. Well, wow, that's a great solution. I didn't even think about that. If LA is allowing that,
Right.
obviously for now, because they just canceled Coachella,
Right.
just 2 hours outside Los Angeles, and that's going to end up happening, dude. I just lost Pearl Jam right before the damn draft. I can't go to Pearl Jam in Oakland now.
Yeah.
Back to back. So yeah, this is going to change everything eventually. I feel bad for Inter Miami.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm supposed to go cover that game on Saturday.
Well, I mean, right now we're all right. It looks like it's going to be a crowd and all that. But can you imagine if these guys, after everything they did, their home opener has no fans?
I would imagine.
Wow, that would be just crushing.
It would be horrible. And I think ultimately that's not what any of these leagues want.
No, of course not.
And I would think at the end they're not going to play games without fans. There's no reason to. This is about making money. It's about a fan experience. And yes, you can still watch the games on TV in an empty arena.
That's where your main fans are, anyways. It's really on TV.
Right, but I still think you listen to what Brian Windhorst said this morning. I mean, $100 million for a playoff game. If the Clippers and Lakers were to play together in the Western Conference Finals, it'd be a zoo. It'd be crazy the amount of people there.
I do have a solution, just for the fan part, not the money part. It will cost them even more money. They would lose even more money with my idea. Because no fans would be paying for parking. They wouldn't be paying for any food. They wouldn't be paying for any paraphernalia, nothing. Just put LED screens on all the seats, and the season ticket holders have a webcam at home. They're watching the game, and they can cheer, and then the audio comes out of the LED screens.
There you go.
So you have the atmosphere in the arena with the actual season ticket holders cheering on their team, but they're not spending a damn dime, unfortunately. That's it. That's as far as my solution goes, bro.
Well, listen, I was listening to different reports, how long it's going to take, for this thing to be eradicated. Let's say if they told everybody, hey, no school, no work, everybody's got to stay home. This could be a couple months.
Right, yeah.
How does that, again, that's the priority, right? Everybody has to stay healthy. We don't want to see people get sick and die. But let's say they eradicate it, right? They get to the point where they do. In 3 or 4 months, how's that going to affect everything? Does the sports calendar completely change now? Do we
financially how it would crush everybody?
Right.
Crush everybody.
And it's going to, because the cruise industry is already feeling it. My dad works in the cruise industry. He's seen a bunch of people laid off already. You and I work in the sports industry. We got nothing to cover. What are we going to be talking about?
No.
So, unfortunately, but I think that's where we're headed, man, because that seems to be the only thing that's going to be able to beat this thing. There's nothing else but taking strong action.
Because the people, what a lot of people don't understand, and I see it on the text every day and the Twitter and all that. Oh, well, this is, the common cold kills more people. Well, that's the idea. We don't want this to become common cold number 2, because it will kill more people than the common cold. And then it's 2 things that we're trying to avoid all the time: COVID-19 and the flu.
Right.
You can't avoid the damn flu. It happens. We get all caught up in the flu at one point or another.
Right.
Can you imagine if this thing gets to the point where it's that common like the flu? Then, dude, that's scary.
Well, and again, I heard one of these experts talking, one of the guys who helped stop SARS when that was going on a few years ago. I saw him do a 60-minute special. He was talking about how he thinks it could kill up to 45 million people, if it gets to the level where nobody's really doing much about it. 45 million, 60 million people. Look, the bottom line is there's a reason the World Health Organization, everybody's freaking out over this. Yes, the flu kills a lot of people.
Oh, that's because it's been around.
But that's because it's been around
1,000
forever.
years.
Right.
Right. So let's not allow this to get to the point where the flu is at. That's what I keep telling people.
Mm-hmm.
Stop thinking short term. Think big picture of, if you allow this to grow and grow and grow and grow, then it becomes a terror. Right now it's not, and it's still killing people, but we have to get to a point where we just corral this thing. But you're right. It's going to get to a point where we're all in our houses for a couple months.
Yeah, and I think I would tell people, when you hear these warnings, don't just think, whatever.
Oh, dude,
you got to take it seriously, man.
Yeah, you got to definitely take it serious, man. So what is the University of Miami doing with this now? What's basketball, baseball?
Yeah.
What's going on now with everything that they've got going on? Football's not an issue right now. It won't be for a couple months.
Right. Well, you have the spring game April 11th, which my guess is that won't be played in front of people. I reached out to Blake James this morning, I sent him an email to see if he had anything going on. I'm sure they're trying to prepare some statement or some sort of plan as far as how they're going to attack things. But essentially, I mean, look, the ACC basketball tournament is going on. Miami's playing now, aren't they? Or is that game over yet?
No, I think it's I'm not. Is it still? They're going on now.
I think they started at 12 or 1 o'clock.
Right.
It's one of the,
I think it's still going on right now. I think so.
Yeah. So
I think it started at noon. You're right.
Yeah. So I mean, that really hasn't changed. They still have fans up in Greensboro watching the thing.
Yeah.
They still have media access afterward. But again, I tend to think, college sports usually takes the lead of the pro sports.
And by the way, their media access is exactly what you're getting now.
Right.
Their media access has
Press
always
conferences,
been just a press conference behind a desk. You're not really in a locker room ever in college basketball, so they're kind of getting the same stuff that they're giving you guys now for the Heat.
Correct.
And the Marlins or the Panthers, it's just going to be podium stuff.
And there's a fear among sports writers that once this thing is over with, that even when sports resume to full capacity, that the athletic leagues are not going to allow us back to that locker room access. There's a genuine fear because for years we've been able to sort of take advantage of the way things used to be. Now they may just make it, hey, nobody's allowed in the locker room, everybody goes to the podium type of deal. So there's a real fear, especially among baseball writers who make their living off of hanging out in clubhouses, and certainly the NBA guys. When I covered the Heat, some of the best stuff I got was one-on-one in the locker room. I think certain organizations and teams are still going to try to help their beat writers get what they need, but when this thing's over with, sports may be changed forever in terms of the access that reporters and media get.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the letter that they put out. I don't want to go there yet until we have to go there. At this moment, it's not the time to talk about that.
No, it is.
Because you can't worry about, the coverage that we're going to be allowed. And we've watched them limit coverage as the years go on anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So every opportunity that they get to kind of limit what you can get. I mean, dude, I used to cover the Dolphins, and I used to be able to walk all over the field.
Right.
And if the guys were in the far left corner that you can't see from the stands, I could walk all the way over there. Jimmy would let us walk all the way over there and go, and it was great. And then obviously it got worse and worse and worse as the years have gone on, and they've limited our access overall. So that is the trend.
Right.
Every opportunity that they've ever gotten to limit access, they will do that.
Well, especially now since they all have their own sort of media outlets, right? Like
right.
They hire
social
their own
media.
writers, their own social media department. So their thought is we control the message. We don't need to let these writers in here to sort of hurt us with negative stories. So again, that's the balance of journalism, right? We're facing it now with the president, right, and access and things that he says and what he attacking the media. So it'll be interesting. But again, like you're right. I mean, that's not what's most important right now. Most important is everybody not getting sick and being safe. So I understand it, but it's just an interesting thought, especially for guys like you and I who are in this business who make our living off of our relationships with a lot of these athletes and the way that we are allowed to interact with them, the friendships sometimes that we make, the stories that it allows us to tell. It's important for us to have that. But right now, man, let's just see what happens. Let's see what ends up getting cut. And, I think there's going to be some major changes before the end of the week. I expect some announcements and things to happen.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt. As time goes on, I don't think we'll go to the draft.
Right.
I think eventually that's worse than almost any place you could go to. Vegas?
Right.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Where they're coming from all over the world. Where they're bringing crap from all over the world. Are you kidding me? I'm surprised. Well, I'm actually not. Because some of these situations that there's a lot of money, a lot of power, they're not like the Olympics have not given up yet. And they can, whatever they want, countries are going to start pulling out.
Right.
Whatever the Olympics want to say, I get it. They've been spending $1 billion for 4 years trying to build all these stadiums in the infrastructure for the Olympics, so they don't want to give up on it right away. But and it's in Asia, out of all places. Okay, so eventually countries are going to say we cannot send our athletes there.
Right.
I mean, I experienced it. Was it 1980? We boycotted. Was it 80? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was an 80 in
You
Moscow.
remember 80?
Yeah.
We had
was 80.
the winter Olympics, and then it was the summer.
In Russia?
Well, they didn't come to us
it in
in 80.
Russia?
They didn't
Winter
come to
was
us
Lake
in
Placid,
84.
and then the summer was in Moscow.
Was in Moscow, and we didn't go, right?
Right.
That's what it was.
That
we
was-
didn't.
yeah.
Our summer athletes did not go. That's what it was,
Right.
right? So that's what's going to happen now. Countries are going to start pulling out because it's the responsible thing to do. And I know what they're going to say. Well, they're all going to be in the Olympic Village. Yeah, but how about the people that have to take care of them in the Olympic Village?
Right.
You know what I mean? And in the stadiums, they won't be close to the spectators. I get that too. But what spectators?
Right.
Are you actually going to put?
And the thing is, every sporting event counts on the money of the people who come and attend. I mean, they need the reason those cities bid to host the Olympics because they want to make money. It's not just about.
And what fan is flying to Asia now?
Right. Nobody. When are the Olympics starting? Is that August?
Yeah, I think it's somewhere around there.
I mean, maybe this thing is over and done with by then.
Right, and that's maybe what they're holding out for. You know, like we've got the draft coming around, and I think that's what they're holding out to see. But as it multiplies, it's not decreasing; it's multiplying.
Right.
So I don't know how they are expecting that we're going to get over this hump by the time the draft rolls around, and they're going to have to cancel the draft with at least 3-4 weeks to go because there's a lot of people that are going to have to.
They won't cancel it. What they'll do is just everybody. It'll be old school.
No,
like
no,
it
I'm
was
saying
over
can't.
the,
No,
over
what
the
I'm
phone.
saying is they'll cancel the event.
Right.
Is what I'm saying. They'll have the draft just for the players and the analysts and all that. They'll do their jobs and it's over. But that whole group of people, they're gone.
Yeah.
They're gone. All right. So, what's going on football-wise this week? Anything? Is it quiet right now?
Yeah, it's quiet. I went to the Under Armour All-American camp that they had Sunday up at North Broward Prep, and I saw a few of the guys. I think Miami had 5 commitments there, plus a bunch of the other recruits that they're going after. So this is a really good year in South Florida in terms of recruiting and upper echelon kids. All 5 of the 5-star recruits in the state of Florida are in Dade and Broward. So Manny Diaz and his staff obviously feel a lot of pressure to try to deliver, but you know, from talking to those kids, a lot of them just want to see the program win. When you go 6-7 and 7-6 your 2 previous years, and everybody's talking about your head coach and how long is he going to be here, Manny Diaz needs a good season if he's going to have a chance at any of those kids. So,
Yeah. Well, he needs a good season to save his ass.
yeah. So
And Blake James, by the way.
Correct.
I think unfortunately now for Blake, his ass is on the line too now because they looked so bad last year. They've got, like, some guy was, reaching out to me. Hey, Lashley and all these guys looking good. And I'm like, dude, we got to wait till they actually play games.
right.
And then we'll find out if they look good and if everything translates. We're all hoping it, but, yeah, there's a lot on the line this year for Manny and for Blake James.
I can tell you this, though. I have obviously plenty of sources, people who get a chance to watch full practice because we don't. We had the chance Tuesday when they were in pajamas, as Manny Diaz calls it, the shorts, T-shirts, and helmets. We got to watch that. But once they started putting on the shoulder pads and the full pads Thursday and Friday, had a couple of guys that I know that were able to watch that are very much involved in this. One's a coach. The other guy is a talent evaluator and helps send kids to different schools and so forth. And they've been around Miami, seen them over the years. Last year, the talent evaluator saw Miami, told me, I think they win 7 games. The quarterbacks are not good. The offensive line is not good. He turned out to be right. The coach who I saw thought Miami was going to be a little better. He saw them now, and he's like, Garrett King's going to make them a whole lot better, and so is the system that Rhett Lashley is using. So, and then the hiring of Garen Justice, Diaz talked about it in his press conference Friday. They're able to run the football now all of a sudden. They weren't able to do that last year at all. They were really bad at running the ball. What he's done with the scheme, obviously spreading guys out further, away from each other, that's helping out. They're able to,
More space
for those guys who are blocking. Faster pace keeps the defense tired. So a lot of the initial plan, at least the first week of practice, you're seeing results. You're seeing things that you want to see heading in the right direction. But again, first week of spring practice, half of it was in pajamas. Let's see what happens in the spring game if we get to watch a spring game.
Yeah, that's true. If you get to watch. Well, they might let you guys there.
We'll see.
And
I don't know.
It might not be fans, but they put your asses in the press box.
They'll make us like sit all the way in the top.
Right,
with binoculars.
just completely away, and then
Yeah.
hey, at least you guys get to see it. It's either this
Or
or you're
nothing.
not here, and so
Right.
they'll Okay. How about the Athletic? What are they telling you guys about travel and all that now?
Yeah, well, Andre Fernandez, who covers the Heat for us, is still going to be traveling to Milwaukee.
So as long as the team plays, he travels. Is that what they're doing
I
right
think
now?
so. As long as the season continues, he's going to continue to go and follow the team, even if we don't have locker room access. I think he's going to.
Did he borrow Laramie Tunsil's gas mask?
I don't know what Andre's going to do. I know he's probably going to bring a whole lot of.
There's one here.
There you go, right there in pink too. I think.
Can you imagine? We're supposed to have Andre on now. By the way, could you call Andre and tell him we're going to be about 5 minutes late? But can you imagine Andre in that pink mask? That would be awesome.
Could, especially with the bong there attached to it at the end.
That is fantastic.
That'd be great.
That'd be great.
Yeah, he's going to travel, I think, as long as there's games. But we'll see. Again, sounds to me like there's going to be some announcement soon cutting the season off and people sitting around and waiting to see what they do.
Well, the NBA. So you don't think the NBA will play the games without the fans at all?
I think they have too much money to lose.
Okay.
I mean, look, they already sold tickets, right? So fans are not allowed to go because those cities and those states aren't allowing them to go.
Right.
I mean, how do you just pocket that money and say sorry?
No, you have to refund them. You have
no
choice.
I mean, you don't want to.
Or credit them for next year or something. I mean, that's what you'll do.
That's why I brought up the sports calendar now, because obviously everything is cyclical, right? The NBA plays October to June. Well, if you got to delay 3 months because of what's going on now before everybody feels comfortable coming back, what, are you going to pick up the regular season then? Do you cut the regular season and just start the playoffs? Remember, and then do they come back in October? All those are questions that I guess we'll be debating here.
Well, it's maybe what you said. You end the season wherever you're at, start the playoffs right away. Let's get the playoffs and the championship, and let's get it out of here.
Right.
And let's not put any more at risk. And then you play, but again, you'll be doing it without fans.
Right. I don't think they want to do that. I think between the TV dollars, the money that the fans bring in, to me it's just better to hit the pause button, which is what they've done in China, by the way, with the Chinese basketball league.
Yes.
They just stop the season where it is, and they're going to pick it up wherever it is. But again,
I was surprised some of the soccer games were going on without the fans.
Right. Well, those guys, I don't know what their financial situation is, but I know in the NBA, how much they're paying guys here.
Yeah, but Manny, most of their money really comes from the TV deals.
Sure, absolutely.
That's the majority of their money. It's almost like the tickets are icing on the cake. It's money for the owners, but I still think that the TV money still pays for. And here's the other thing: in a year where their ratings are down, this will actually improve their ratings.
Right.
Because the only way to see the game is by watching it. You won't be able to go to it.
Yeah.
So you'll get all those butts that were in seats. You'll now get them in front of the tube. And in a year where you lost Durant in the East Coast, and then you from the West he goes to the East. You lost LeBron from the East, so no superstar replaced him. Kyrie's out. You start to think about all the things. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. Ratings are down in the NBA. The coronavirus will actually do something for these TV companies that must be really pissed right now with the ratings and the money that they're paying for those ratings.
Sure, if they decide to play those games. But I don't know. I know from what Windhorst was talking about this morning, all of it is essentially going to affect the salary cap for next year. And so that's what these owners and league officials are all starting to figure out now. They're starting to do the math. If we cut the regular season here, how's that going to affect the salary cap next year? If we if we shorten the playoffs, or if we do whatever it is that they decide to do, they're sort of figuring out how it affects the wallet. And in the end, that's what's going to determine everything.
Right, yeah. And China.
And China, right.
They already lost money with China.
Right.
So if you shorten that, you also lose some money. Whatever's left that you're getting from China, you'll get less now, even from China.
It's fascinating. I think there's still going to be a lot for us to talk about and write about, even while we're all at home trying to duck the coronavirus.
Yeah. I can see Sirius calling me a lot to do shows from the house.
Yeah.
I can see that. All right, anything recruiting-wise on the Canes that we need to follow up? Because I know it's kind of a quiet time right now with the Canes.
I mean, they started recruiting again. They've had contact since March 1st. I think Savion Collins, who's the 4-star defensive tackle from Miami Palmetto, who's he's been committed to them for a long time. I don't think that's going to continue much longer. He's really into Florida. I think Miami coaches are looking at him, sort of reevaluating him and thinking, it's probably better to part ways with him. So I think that'll be something that happens here soon. And there's kids visiting. There's kids that are going to be coming down to spring practices, we think, if they are allowed to, that are going to be checking out Miami and potentially committing here in the months ahead. Most of the recruiting now, I mean, it's done by December, right? All the best kids pick. So it's the spring and summertime when they make commitments. So I would say from April to July, that should be the busiest period in terms of recruits committing and so forth.
And this is, of course, our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. Go to Caneswear, 2511 South University Drive in Davie. Go see Brett and all the great people out there. Not only do they have Canes, but they've got Dolphins, Heat, Marlins, Panthers, and the team you're covering on Saturday, Inter Miami. By the way, when the hell is the Athletic going to hire somebody?
I don't know.
Inter Miami.
One of our national writers was supposed to come down, and then I think with everything going on with the coronavirus, they said, hey, can you get one of your local writers so our guy doesn't have to come flying down there depending on what happened,
So he was coming national just to cover the game?
Yeah, I mean, the home opener for Miami.
Okay.
We have national writers, and they
But I know you guys are going to hire your own, right?
I'm hoping so, certainly. Yeah, I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
But for now, it's kind of, hey, this is what we're doing. So
yeah, because that thing's going to be a monster.
Yeah.
It's going to explode. All the games are all the season tickets are sold out.
Mm-hmm.
First 2 games are sold out. Now, hopefully, the fans are allowed to attend. But when they add those 2 international players in June, that's when this thing is going to go boom, because the stars are going to be added. Right. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So so I'll see you Saturday.
Yeah, I will be there, brother.
Got it. We got the broadcast going. I got Whittingham and Thomas Rongen doing the broadcast.
Very good.
So
Whittingham's a South Florida guy, man.
Yeah. Well, Rongen is former striker.
Yeah, that's great.
From the 70s and 80s. So he's returning to his old stomping grounds.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be an emotional game. When I called him to do the game, he goes, man, I was going as a fan because I took the day off to go as a fan, but now I'm going to have to work it. And I go, come on, you want to work this game. He goes, out of all games, this is the one I want to work.
Same situation as you. You wanted to be a fan, and now you're involved.
That's true. I wanted to be a fan. I just wanted to be a fan. I have worked with every soccer team, and I'm like, I want to be a fan, and now I'm the station manager, so we'll see now. And, we're going to build a soccer radio station there.
Really? Okay, that's great.
Yeah, we're going to have a host 7 to 11 in the morning.
Okay.
And then 11 to 1, we'll have team programming. Then 1 to 5, we'll have another live host. And then 5 to 6, we'll have more team programming like the head coach's show, the general manager show, the play-by-play and color guy. I'm going to have a show, players. So we'll have 5 different shows during that hour. And so it'll all be soccer intensive.
Wow, that's great.
MLS, USL, International, Serie A, Premiership, whatever's going on, pop culture, life, all that, but none of the other local sports. It's really only for like the soccer fan in general to have a place to go. And so Moss and company have allowed me to kind of build this thing now.
That's great.
So, yeah, Moss that's great vision on his part to do something like this. And I bet you other MLS teams are going to copy us because they don't get the love on local radio wherever they're at. Like Franco Panizo, who works for SBI Soccer, and you'll see him on Saturday. He covers the Inter Miami for SBI Soccer. He was up covering the MLS for the last 10 years in New York. In New York, none of the radio stations talk about the MLS teams.
Really? Okay. Not at all.
Not at all.
Wow.
Right. So that you got to go to Sirius FC. Right. And so I think the hardcore soccer fan, which is bigger now because of international soccer, they don't have a place to go. So now they'll be able to go to our website.
Good.
Go to intermiamicf.com and do it. So there you go. If you cover them enough, we're going to have to ask you to come on also to
that's fine,
to
man.
Talk a little Inter Miami.
I'm a jack of all trades. I'll do what I have to do.
You're looking forward to that? That's pretty cool for you. At least you get to cover the inaugural game.
Listen, I was there I've been here for a lot of the inaugural things. I covered FIU's first football game. The Marlins, I was there. I mean, I'm born in 78. I'm 41, so I wasn't around for the Dolphins and all that kind of stuff. But certainly the Heat, I remember being there for one of their first games, and so this will be another experience.
Yeah, have you seen the stadium yet?
I have not been there yet.
Dude, it's going to freak.
Yeah.
I just want you to remember this when you walk in there on Saturday.
Okay.
Remember 10 months ago, it was a broken down stadium full of weeds.
I remember. I remember being there.
I just want you to picture that when you walk over there and you see that place, and you're gonna go, crap. You won't be saying crap. You'll be saying that other word.
Right.
Because it's dynamic, bro. It's just sick what they've done to that place.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, listen, I was there for a lot of Miami Hurricane spring football games and so forth.
Yeah.
And we were always like, man, what happened? Like, why is this place just a dump?
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to seeing what this MLS team has done with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like $160 million that Moss has put in that place.
Unbelievable.
So yeah, it'll be good stuff. All right, man. Thank you, Manny,
brother.
as always.
No problem,
Appreciate
man.
it. Wash
Thanks,
your
man.
hands.
I will.
All right, bro. Manny Navarro. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Catch his work at The Athletic and catch his Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report right here every week on our program. Normally on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock, but because of our technical snafu, man, I'm glad because you came in live. Wait a minute. Hey, say that again. Go ahead.
It's always better to be in person.
Yeah, that's right. And you're close by.
I'm close by. 20-minute drive. Wasn't bad.
All right.
We've only talked about this for the last 3 times we've been here, so to finally have them come and grace us with your presence, thank you, sir.
Oh, and by the way, next Tuesday we're here, so you can come next Tuesday.
Okay.
I don't know if you're working next Tuesday.
It just depends on what's happening down at UM.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're not, just remember next Tuesday we're here, actually, because Wednesday we're at the Marlins.
All right.
How about that? The Marlins are going to have us out there as to broadcast.
That's great. That's great.
I think
I'm sure I'll be there too.
This would have never happened with Loria, bro. Like they wouldn't even pick up the phone when I called.
No. Different ownership group, man.
Yeah, dude. They're making an effort. I got to support that.
Yeah.
I got to support that. Meet them halfway. All right, let's take a break. Back with more right here on The Big O Show.
Plus tax tag title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SCT, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Mel G Fit. That is our friend. She is in amazing shape, Mel G. We've had her on our show. We got to bring her on, man. I got to see if Mel G would show up on one of our remotes and come by and have a little fun with us. She just put out a Instagram post that is, I just showed it to you there, on the Mevo camera there on YouTube. Amazing stuff. All right, let's talk Andre Fernandez, baby. Of course, Fernandez, Andre C. You can follow him on Twitter. Catch his work at The Athletic. Let's talk a little Miami Heat as they get ready tonight to take on the Hornets. So let me ask you, Andre, what's the prediction? Will the NBA play games without the fans, or will they stop the season and wait till Corona takes, Corona's done, and they can then restart the season? We just had Manny Navarro on, and he thinks that the NBA will stop. What do you think they're going to do?
I mean, I think anything's on the table now from the way this is going right now. I think the possibility of them playing without fans first would probably be the more likely possibility. I mean, I even read something just recently within the past hour that said that it's likely that the Golden State Warriors were going to play their next game, like that, with the Chase Center with no one there.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's possible that could be the case. I mean, I was curious to see if the Heat were going to play that way tonight. So far, it looks like it's business as usual. But again, everyone's keeping an eye on this situation, and, from moment to moment, things can change. And so, I mean, I wouldn't put anything past the possibility right now, the way the NBA seems to be, taking these steps to make sure everybody's safe.
And Andre, from what I understand, I think the Warriors make more money in their home games than anybody else in the NBA. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's as far as I've read. Yeah, I've read and heard the same thing. That's the most profitable, situations as far as that goes.
It's like a crazy. I think it's like 3.3 million or something per game or something. It's like an incredible number.
Yeah, not just in the NBA, but sports-wide, it's one of the more profitable situations there. So that just tells you if they're willing to take that step. I mean, obviously, there have been more cases out that way than here, but league-wide, I think that's something that teams, I think, are bracing for the possibility of.
Yeah, no, that to me, I mean, listen, it looks like we're headed that way, and I asked Manny about it, and I guess they've got you traveling until the team says no, and they're not doing anything. But what happens if no fans, but they're allowing media? Will you continue to travel?
I mean, as of right now, I think I'm not being pressured one way or the other as of right now. So, I mean, the possibility is there. I mean, I'm set to go on this road trip, as of this moment right now, the one coming up where they go to Milwaukee, Chicago, and Indiana. So unless something happens in the next, 48, 72 hours to change that, as far as my company goes, it would be. I would, it's just going to be something different. I mean, I'm just curious to see how this would play out. If the team is playing practically in a practice-like atmosphere where, you really have nothing, no one there. I mean, the guys talked about that yesterday. I thought one of the most insightful ones yesterday was Jay Crowder saying, it sucks the fact that he'd have to tell his family basically, hey, you can't come watch me play. I guess his family have been, regularly watching him, or different family members have. So but at the same time, you want to be safe. You want to be, mindful of the situation. And, I guess me as a reporter, I have my concerns, going on the road right now. Obviously you try to do everything you can to be as careful as possible, but, some things are out of your control. So it's a little scary. I won't definitely say that.
One of our listeners just put there that the World Health Organization just officially designated COVID-19 a pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's not good. I think eventually that's That's where we're headed, man. We're headed that they're going to cancel a lot of these things. All right, so tonight, Butler dealing with the toe injury, Crowder dealing with the concussion protocol, Tyler Hero also with the foot.
Tonight, from what everything, all the indications are, Jimmy is still iffy. We're not, it's not probably a 50-50. Got to see how that goes early on before the game. And Jay's doing better, so it'd be big if they can get him obviously in there. The big thing for me is which rotations is Tyler in there with. I'm curious to see how Spo kind of tweaks that, that bench lineup as far as, the 4 veterans and Duncan Robinson. He's gone with some of those combos, or if Jimmy does play, does he go back to kind of the sets that he had before? Because, like we've talked about other times you've had me on the show, they really need Tyler's clutch play down the stretch to make sure they win some of these close games.
Well, let's go Bam, Duncan, and Tyler, right? I mean, the Bam stuff worked really well at the end of the last game. So maybe you want to feed things through Bam more often than not instead of Jimmy. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you could see a lineup, those 3 for sure in a combo late, along with you want to have Jay in there as well with all the things he can provide, if he's available. And then either you go a little more defensive with Iguodala, or maybe you could drop in Goran if you want a little more of a, the distributor in there, a guy that can give you a little more offense. And I think those are the combos he'll work on. You could also mix in Kelly, obviously, if you need, a little more on the offensive end, the way he's been playing the last few games. So.
I'm with you there. By the way, you can follow Andre at Fernandez Andre C. You can catch his work there at The Athletic. And look, this is a game. I know they don't think that way. But, dude, this is a game you're not supposed to need Jimmy Butler. This is one of those games that you're better than they are. You should take care of business without Jimmy.
Right, of course. I mean, these are the games that, lately is finally in this 5 out of 6 stretch. You're seeing them take care of business a little bit better. They're closing games out better, and this is what you hope for. You hope that they could do this and they could figure out their issues like that more consistently now at the end of the season when you're locking up home court. We're trying to lock up home court. You're trying to even move up because now, there's a window again where maybe you can move up to the 3 seed with Boston, kind of dropping a little bit. And you have it's really good to see the mesh, like we were talking about, of the guys like Iguodala, of Crowder, and even Solomon Hill, who now is a part of this roster, we know, for the rest of this season at least. And, when called upon, he played pretty well the other day, gave him some pretty good minutes, and, could happen again, obviously, until everybody's back in the lineup.
So let me ask you, how are they approaching this road stuff? Because the Wizards game, at least they got the win there, and they were able to get it done. And I know they've talked a little bit about it. How much of this is all mentally with them? Because it's real. I mean, they're so young, Andre, that to me, that's kind of what this whole thing is about. They're still trying to figure out the consistency and the intensity that they need to play with night in and night out. Plus, their bodies haven't developed. To me, it's just kind of normal, actually, that they're so schizophrenic at times that you can see some great things out of them, and then you can see some head-scratching stuff out of them at times.
I could see that definitely being a thing, with especially with the youth factor there, how, this is the first time that a lot of them are consistently playing in these games at this level. And but not just, body development, but even experience, in learning this. And that's why I think even in the most, embarrassing or painful of losses, you've heard Spo say the same thing. They need to go through that pain. They need to go through that fire together to build on that, so they're ready for the stretch run and for the playoffs, because it's the first postseason for a lot of guys. Even Bam really didn't have the minutes that he's going to have this postseason, the first time he was in the playoffs. So, it's going to be kind of a trial by fire where a lot of them they're going to lean on the vets, but the bulk of the roster is going to be put in those key spots in more intense situations where individual matchups are going to be huge. And they're going to have to depend on this experience to come through in games like that and perform well.
And this is one of those stretches too where they have a couple of they got games here where they can really pad the record here and set themselves up for a position in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, two big ones on the road next week. Obviously with the Bucks, they're going for the season sweep there in a tough spot on the road. But then a crucial one, I think, with Indiana, who now is the 5th seed, and could be obviously the first round matchup for them. So and it's the first time that they're going to play Indiana with Oladipo in the lineup, and I believe with Malcolm Brogdon in the lineup as well. So if that's the case, this is the first real indicator of what that matchup could look like, you know, in the playoffs with the Pacers. So, I mean, huge games there, and then like you said, you know, games against the Bulls and the Knicks and a few other teams that are out of it right now that you really should put your foot down and pick up those victories to, you know, to pad your lead and keep gaining on third.
Andre, what are you working on there at the Athletics so folks can check out your Heat coverage, my man?
Well, I had a story today, actually, that was coronavirus related. Spoke to their two-way contract player, Gabe Vincent, who's been flying back and forth across the country to their G League site, Sioux Falls. You know, that's normal for G League guys, obviously.
On commercial flights.
But on commercial flights, especially right now with all the concerns. So, you know, it's pretty good talking to him about just what that's kind of been like, you know, dealing with that and, you know, trying to stay as safe as possible. So, you know, people want, if they can, check that one out, that one. And then, of course, I'm working on a little series breaking down what the Heat playoff matchup would look like against some of these teams. Like I did one already against the Bucks. Now I'm going to take a look at Philly, Indiana, and so on and so forth, Boston, Toronto, kind of going inside the numbers to get people ready for what those potential playoff matchups might look like.
There you go. Andre, as always, my brother, thank you for taking some time and talking a little Heat, man. Enjoy the game
Absolutely.
tonight.
Thanks for having me, as always, man.
You got
Take
it,
care.
baby. Be good. There you go. Fernandez, Andre C. on Twitter. We do have a final here. Clemson just beat Miami 69-64. So, unfortunately, Miami dropping it to Clemson. They are in the ACC tournament second-round action. The New York Life ACC tournament. So, Canes done against Clemson 69-64. They're young. This was kind of expected with the Canes. They get a couple of those All-American type players next year that they're recruiting. They should be a much better team next year, especially all these young guys. They only lose Vasiljevic. Next year is the year where the University of Miami could have a pretty good season. This year was a transition year. Not anything surprising that they didn't have a great one. I wouldn't get all mad. I see Mike no-go zones. Mike, are you worried about Pellegrino? Huh? Because he says soccer sucks. Mike no-go zones goes, then why is Hard Rock Stadium packed when FC Barcelona held an exhibition? And don't forget that the MLS team has their season tickets sold out. Okay, and the first two games for Inter Miami are sold out. Don't worry, don't bother and listen to the people that say soccer sucks.
My buddy runs the parking at the stadium.
Those are the people that you can't you can't ever convince, my brother. Okay? You never can convince them, so don't worry about it. People that don't like a sport, that's just the way they're going to be. They're not going to look at any of the facts. They're not going to look at the MLS outdrawing major NBA and the NHL. They're not going to look at any of that stuff.
Biggest events the last 3 or 4 years, my buddy that's in charge of all the parking at the stadium. Yeah, it's been soccer games out there at Joe Robbie.
Yeah, it's soccer. I mean, give me a break.
It's not even close.
It doesn't matter. This is the same thing for boxing or MMA or hockey. Any of these kind of sports that are considered fringe in our country right now. I think soccer is getting to the point where it's mainstream, but it's not quite there yet. It will take probably another 10 years, and then obviously when it skips baseball and all that, it'll be mainstream. But all these kind of sports that are not mainstream, that's how people are. If they don't watch MMA, they're going to hate it. And if they don't watch boxing, they're going to hate it. And if they don't watch soccer or hockey, they're going to hate it. And whenever you talk about it, they're going to diss it. That's just the way it is. You're never going to change those people. The good thing is, for me on my show, you're not going to change the way I am because I'm going to talk about everything because I follow everything. I like everything. Let's see. Jerry G says, last year for Larrañaga, don't you think? No, I don't. No, I don't. Not at all. Larrañaga's done a great job. This is a transition year, man. This was supposed to be like this. So you shouldn't be disappointed about this. If you follow the program, you should know that they were super, super young this year, and you weren't going to win a lot of games because of it. They don't have super young McDonald's All-Americans. They get super young, decent players, and you're not going to win a lot with those kind of guys. Now, if you can get 2 or 3, McDonald's All-Americans, and your basketball team, then you're fine. Anyway, let's take a break. When we come back, Michelle Kaufman from the Miami Herald. We talk a little Inter Miami. It's our Inter Miami segment. We do it with Michelle Kaufman next.
Plus tax tag title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorocktillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorocktillefestival.com.
Seeing this out of Local 10, Bay Harbor Island. A state of emergency has been declared in the town of Bay Harbor regarding a COVID-19 finding. The decision was made on Wednesday. Town manager Juan Carlos Jimenez was alerted by Mayor Stephanie Bruder in a letter that was obtained by Local 10 News, which can be seen below. And a town employee is presumptive positive case of coronavirus and is currently under medical attention, according to the letter. So on Bay Harbor Island, it is everywhere, man. It is crazy. All right, let's talk with Michelle Kaufman. We do it every week at this time. We talk a little Inter Miami football, and of course, last night, Michelle and I were over at the practice at the facility. Which, Michelle, it is amazing to think that 10 months ago, it was a broken down building full of weeds. They tore that thing down and have made a beautiful, beautiful stadium in 10 months. Crazy. Do we have her? Do we have Michelle? Hold on a second. Michelle, we're trying to get in contact here. Let's see what we got. Let me see. We're trying to get her up here. Is it potted up the right way? Because it doesn't look. Okay. All right. I don't know. Then I don't know what it is. Let's see. What do we have here? All right. We're trying to get Michelle on. We'll see if we can get her on in a second.
Call dropped, though.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. So we'll figure it out, and we'll try to get her on, and we'll talk a little bit about last night. It was a lot of fun last night, man. The atmosphere was great last night. Like I said before, Southern Legion, the Siege, Vice City 1896, they were out in full force for a mere practice, and they showed up, and they were awesome, and they were colorful. I think we've got Michelle on. You can follow her on Twitter at Koff Sports. You can catch her work at the Miami Herald website. Let's bring her aboard. Michelle, it is amazing to think that 10 months ago it was a broken-down building full of weeds, and now it's a beautiful palace for soccer.
Yeah, I mean, not even 10 months ago. Honestly, 8 months ago.
Yeah.
They poured the foundation in July. So it's been basically 8.5 months since they really started building it. 10 months ago, they demolished the other one. But the real construction began pretty much 8.5 months ago. You know, we have houses in my neighborhood that are doing renovations that have taken over a year, and they were able to build that stadium in a short time. It's pretty miraculous, honestly.
Yes, it is. Well, it's private funded too, which always helps because you and I know if it was city, county, or state involved, it would take about 3 years to build. Something.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the Palmetto construction has been going on since I was like 10 years old. They've been, redoing the Palmetto, and finally it's close to finished, and I'm amazing to see that place and the way it looks. And last night, I thought that was a heck of a crowd for a Tuesday night. There was a little clouds in the air. We got rain for like 60 seconds, but outside of that, it did not really end up raining, but I thought it was a really, really good crowd. And on top of that, the Southern Legion, the Siege, and Vice City 1896 brought it strong.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there were, I believe they had said 3,500 fans, 3,500 fans registered to go. And, just to watch a bunch of guys run through cones, honestly, that's all it was.
Yeah.
They did, a little bit of some little shooting drills and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was a great crowd. The all three supporters groups showed. I got to say that the Hispanic ones sing a little bit louder. The Anglos are going to have to raise the volume because they're going to be drowned out.
Yes.
But it was really fun. I mean, everybody has been waiting a long time, and, you could tell the fans were excited to be there. And, the stadium I thought looked very, very nice, considering they still have a few more days to go. I wrote in my story today, I talked to Don Lockerbie, who basically oversaw the whole project. That he's in stadium construction. He's done like over 400 stadiums, World Cups, Olympics, and he was the one that renovated Lockhart for Ken Horowitz in 93 days back in 1997. So he was feeling nostalgic, to be standing there at the same spot where he renovated Lockhart to, a playable stadium in 1997. And then he was in charge of this whole project. So he was quite happy with how it's come out. And he said there's still, these next few days, he said, it's all furniture and fixtures and stuff that they're putting in now that they've been, he said there are literally thousands of pieces of furniture that have been in storage in Doral. And, they're shipping them all up by truck today and tomorrow and Friday to put all the furniture in. So it should look even better on Saturday than it looked last night.
In other words, the chairs that, Michelle Kaufman needs to sit on to write her stories are coming today.
Exactly.
Is what you're saying.
Sat on the floor. I wrote my story from the floor last night because there were no chairs yet. So I was sitting on the floor in a hallway, sitting Indian style with my computer, typing my story, and one of the team executives came by and he's like, Michelle, what are you doing on the floor? And I'm like, well, the press box isn't ready yet. So, and I had to file my story from the stadium. So, it wasn't quite ready, last night, but they assured me that on Saturday I will have a chair and a table.
I was a little better off. I was just standing on the field right next to the players, so I was having fun. By the way, those field suites, those things are super sweet, Michelle. You saw those things, right?
Yeah, the suites are very nice.
Oh,
yeah, very
man.
nice. No, it, for a stadium that was put together so quickly, it really does have, nice amenities considering it's not a full-on, concrete stadium. It's, it's mostly bleachers, but the parts that are not, they've really done a nice job. And all of the signage is very, very nice. It's very, with their logo and the pink and the black. And at night, it all lights up, kind of with neon lights. It looks a little South Beachy. And their logo with those herons is everywhere. So, I think it's going to be a good fan experience. It's a shame that this whole coronavirus thing is, has everybody nervous and all that. I've gotten a lot of emails from readers saying, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Are they going to play the game? I mean, as of right now, they're going to play the game. I hope they do, because, it would really be a shame. All the sporting events, to be honest, it's one of the things that can keep us sane in these insane times is to try to have some normalcy in our lives, and sports allows us to do that. So we'll see what happens, but I'm hoping that they get to play.
Yeah, no, I think the question is not if they play. I'm pretty sure they'll play. Will they play with fans is the question.
Right.
That's really what I'm concerned about. That Saturday I got to drive up there, and it's just us covering the game and broadcasting and all that stuff, and then the players, and that would be, especially after all this work for these guys, they deserve to have a packed stadium at least for that one game, you know what I'm saying? Because it's we are headed there. I think it's going to happen eventually to all sports, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. Yeah, these guys played their first 2 games on the road with hostile crowds, and they are really looking forward to finally playing in front of some of their own fans, other than the 300 who went to L.A., but in D.C. it was a very tiny number in the corner of Miami fans, so they're really looking forward to playing at home for the first time, the big home opening and blah, blah, blah. And, it would really be awful if that gets taken away from them and from the fans. The fans have been waiting a long time. The supporters groups have their big banners and flags and chants ready to go. And, I'm going to hope for the best. I'm going to try to be optimistic.
Yeah, no doubt, man. They're going all in, even creating a soccer radio station, which is going to be fun. Are you ready to be on our soccer radio station?
I'm on your soccer radio station already. I've been doing that for 20 years.
Well, yeah, that's true. But this time it's a Jorge Mas-led soccer radio station, which is going to be very cool that we're going to do with Inter. That's going to be – I'm really psyched about that because that's going to give soccer fans a home that they can go to all day long. And they can hear about the Premiership, and they can hear about the Serie A and the MLS and the USL and all of that. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, by the way, I'm going to have a story coming out on Miami FC between either tomorrow or Friday. I had a nice interview with Nelson Vargas and with Paul Dalglish, so be on the lookout for that for the Miami FC fans. Their home opener is Friday night against Tampa Bay Rowdies, and then Inter Miami is Saturday. So, we'll have both local teams will be playing this weekend.
Michelle, did they construct their schedule to make sure that it doesn't clash a lot with the MLS team? I wonder. I didn't look at that. Did they?
Yeah, they did. They made their games Friday night. They're calling themselves Friday Night Football. Okay. They're going after a different they've got it all. That's what my story is going to be about, so I don't want to give it all away. Okay. But
I'm sorry.
But they're going for a Friday night football type theme, where cheap seats. They said we're a different price point than Inter Miami. It's a very Miami-based team. They're looking to get people from Homestead, Kendall, Doral, West Dade, Westchester. Fans that are around FIU. They feel they want to be a community team. They want to be a community team. They're not looking for glitz and glamour. They're going to be a community team for the people who live in those areas in particular, and they have homegrown players on their team that grew up here. Nelson Vargas grew up here. He said he grew up across from FIU. and he went back to FIU to get his degree after he finished with the Miami Fusion. So, you know, he went from living across from FIU growing up as a kid to playing for Miami Fusion to going to FIU to get his degree and now coaching on the field at FIU as a professional coach. So, you know, they're really going for the Miami community crowd. And then, you know, what they said is basically, look, if you want to come Friday night and see us, and then Saturday go see Inter Miami. And Paul said that's what he's going to be doing. He said, I'm going to be going to see them. That's going to be a fun team, but we're going to be a fun team too. And he feels that, you know, that there's definitely room for both.
Yeah, I'm with you there, and I'm going to support them too. At the same time, I'm going to go catch a couple Miami FC games. You know, being in the USL, they're going to see good competition. I mean, a Tampa Bay Rowdies Miami FC game, that's a really fun game.
The Tampa Bay Rowdies always. Yeah, the Tampa fans will send their, you know, their fan group is pretty loud. They have big drums too. And they travel, so they're going to come. I'm sure that Friday night's game is going to be lively for sure.
I wonder if the Southern League Siege and Vice City people, are they doing anything with Miami FC also? Are they a support party?
I don't know. I'm not sure if they're just Inter Miami or are they South Florida soccer fan group.
Because
I'm not sure about
you and
that.
I know this because we've seen their faces. We saw their faces. Some of them were strikers, you know, Flight 19 guys and Southern League guys with Miami FC or strikers or aficionados for Miami FC. So they've all floated around all these different supporter groups. So that's why I wonder, which again, I really love that I saw going yesterday to just a practice for that many of those supporters to show up. I thought that was fantastic, man. They added so much, and the players right away noticed, you know, and the coach noticed right away because they started with the Diego Alonso, you know. So, right, you know, it was good. Those guys have done a really nice job of connecting with the community and the team.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what makes soccer really unique, and that's one of the reasons I love it. And, you know, you see it times 100 at a World Cup. I've covered 6 World Cups, and there is nothing like the passion of a soccer fan. I don't care what anyone says. In this country, the passion for those teams, I mean, there are rare fans around the country that have that passion for their professional teams, but for the most part, the passion for soccer it's deep. It's in their blood. You know, it's the only thing to me in American sports that compares is March Madness. You know, I do think people have that kind of love for their college teams, and during March Madness, you really see that come out. But as far as professional sports, I think the soccer supporter group is something that's so unique to the soccer culture. And some of the writers down here, by the way, some of the journalists who have not really covered pro soccer and are covering it now, they've all already realized, like, this is different. This is a different kind of culture. The fact that the fans showed up at the team hotel in St. Pete and were singing and dancing and banging drums outside the hotel, and then the team comes out and the players are banging the drums. The players are singing and dancing with the fans. I mean, you just don't see that in the NBA or the NFL or Major League Baseball. It's not to put those sports down. It's just a different culture. The fans that go to the Heat games, you know, half of them are sitting in the lower area, you know, going to the lounges, and the other ones are way up high, so they're nowhere near the players. There isn't that kind of close interaction and passion the way there is in soccer. So it's really fun to see, and it's definitely going to happen for this team.
Well, I just saw here coming across the wire, the Warriors plan to play games in empty arenas now after San Francisco has banned crowds of 1,000 or more per report.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I know. It's amazing. My daughter goes to Duke, and they just sent an announcement last night to the parents and the students that they're extending spring break. Spring break was supposed to end this Sunday. They're having the students extending spring break one whole week till the 23rd, and then after that, they're telling them not to go back to campus for the time being, to stay home, and they're going to change all their classes to be virtual and video and online for the time being until they give them permission to go back. So everything is in flux, and it's happening with all her friends. One by one, all her friends are getting the same notices at all the different colleges, and they're all going to be staying in Miami and doing their work from a distance.
What do you think about I mean, I get it. We're still a bit away. so they're hanging in there, and they've spent $1 billion probably on infrastructure to build all these stadiums. But the Olympics are, like, hey, we're going to hold it, but they're in Asia holding these Olympics. I would imagine that even before the Olympics say we're not going to do it or we're not going to have crowds, I would imagine countries are going to start, pretty soon pulling their athletes out and saying, no, we can't send our athletes to the Olympics, right? I mean, eventually that's going to happen, right? Even before the Olympic Committee maybe even cancels it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. That would really be sad. I mean, those athletes, they've trained 4 years for that moment, and to have it taken away. I mean, maybe they would just postpone it 1 year, but even that, when you're training and swimming and track in any of those sports, they're peaking for a very specific date, a very specific moment. And you don't just disrupt that and say, oh, well, you're going to do this race next year or next month or whatever. It's very specific the way they train. So, and then all the businesses, all the financial situation that, the economic impact of all this is just, I can't even wrap my head around just the worldwide economy, inside sports and outside sports. It's just very, very disruptive and unsettling. And, all we can do is try to remain calm and go day by day and go with the flow. I mean, I'm trying not to panic because everyone around me is panicking, and we have to try to stay calm. We can't all just panic. That's really not going to help anything. It makes things worse.
I'm with you 1,000% on that. And listen, we're old enough that we experienced it in 1980 when our athletes couldn't go, and it was and it was crushing for them. And you make such a great point that if you even delay it 3 months or 6 months or a year, the athlete may not be the same athlete 3 months from now, a year from now, and they may be a lesser athlete. Maybe some might be a little better, but it's very unpredictable to do that to people at this point, man. That would be so terrible. But then again, we got to do the right thing so this thing doesn't get out of control. That's what we have to do, unfortunately.
We got to do what we got to do and just go with the flow and try not to panic and use common sense. And, that's all we can do.
All right, Michelle.
Anyway, I got to run.
Go. Do your thing.
Because I have to go to a story. But I will see you hopefully I will
Saturday.
see you at the game.
You got it.
Okay.
Be good.
Thanks.
Thank you. You got it.
Okay, bye-bye.
Michelle Kaufman from the Miami Herald with our Inter-Miami report. We always love getting her on and talking a little soccer there with her. Dougie Fresh is asking, I saw your question, Dougie Fresh, but I figured I can answer it because it's not really, there's not a real specific answer for you. Your question is, for the guest, you said, as a non-soccer person, what is the difference with ball control practices between American and South American soccer? Now, there really is no American soccer. Now, our soccer might be a little bit more physical than most leagues in the world, actually. Okay? Now, it's not better, but when it comes to style of play, we don't really have a style of play. In Europe, they have a style of play where the ball is in the air a lot. In South America, they have another style of play where it's possession and they keep it low. In America, we inherit the different styles. And what I mean, it's kind of general, kind of like when you talk about the NBA East, it's more plotting. The NBA West, it's more running, right? That's kind of like what we've always looked at. At the East, you might see more half court. It might be a little bit more of a physical game. The West is a little bit more finesse, a little bit more open. That's kind of how both leagues have been labeled, right? Same thing in soccer. There are parts of the world where it's possession, and there's not a lot of balls in the air, and that's how, by the way, Diego Alonso teaches the game. He teaches it in a South American style, okay? When I was doing stuff with Miami FC for a couple years, their coach was also teaching in a South American style. Now, Daglish, that's there now with Miami FC, he'll like a little bit more ball in the air because he's got more European in him. You know what I mean? So it's a little different. So I don't believe there's an American style of soccer because we're babies at this. It's not like we're South America, beginning of time. So they've kind of like delivered their own styles already, and they've played their own ways. And I'm generalizing, because it's not even to a T for everybody like that either. But I can't say that there's an American style. I think we adapt and add whatever style we like. That's what coaches do. But we're not innovative enough in this country that we've come up with anything that's original when it comes to soccer. All right, let's take a quick break. We thank Michelle Kaufman for joining us here on the program. We're coming to you live from VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on by and say hi. We'll take a break. We'll come back for the final segment right here on The Big O Show.
Plus tax tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right, we back. We're out here at VSS West Pines. We take you here, the final segment, actually, of the program. We thank, of course, Michelle Kaufman. I always tell you here at VSS West Pines, you'll find all kinds of things. Like, look at this funky, badass frog that's like I guess he's a superhero frog, a Batman frog or something like that. It's like, there are all kinds of, I'm telling you, it's kind of like a Spencer's Barefoot Mailman. Okay? Sure, you can get your CBD products. You can get your, what's it called? Those, what's that? I have it here. I have it in the list because I don't necessarily smoke that stuff. But the e-juice for vaporizers, they've got all of that going on. All your tobacco needs, those of you that like all those flavored tobaccos that are there, they've got those there. All those type of different cigarillos or whatever they're called. They've got, it's an incredible selection. And by the way, for those of you that are smoking your CBD or any of the other tobacco products, they've got the Ultra Air Deodorizer 3-in-1. Okay? It's mobile, so you can put it in your car or you can put it in your home, in your room, and you hit this thing and it just filters out all the smoke and air and you can't smell anything. It smells nice and clean. It deodorizes, disinfects the area that you're smoking so nobody can tell you're even smoking. They have that here. You can use it in your car. You can use it at home, things like that. They've got all kinds of stuff. Like I told you, water pipes galore, all kinds. They've got the, what's it called, the hookahs. Got all kinds of hookahs all over the place. I got a table here in the middle that's loaded with all kinds of different hookahs starting from $19.99 and up. So I'm just telling you, when it comes to all kinds of things, okay, even the stuff you need to clean your pipes, they've got them here. It's endless. The lunch boxes, they've just ordered a couple of new ones. So they've got some new lunch boxes coming in. If you want one, they had an Iron Maiden one that was badass, man. They sold that thing. Obviously, Dougie Fresh got me the Rush one. What else did I see? I saw a Kiss one a couple times ago when I was here. So I'm telling you, it's endless the amount of products that they have here. I could take hours to talk about all the different things. Flasks, if you're looking for I'm telling you, it's a store that will amaze you at all different types of artwork and drawings and crystal and ceramic and just whatever, man. I'm telling you, there's all kinds of things. It'll freak you out. It's a cool place just to come and just to look at all the different little items that they have. Eventually, you'll walk out with something. Put it that way. So 12397 Pembroke Road in Pembroke Pines. Come on out and see Jose and all the great people out here at VSS West Pines. One guy says it's called what? It's called Battle what? Oh, Battle Toad. Is that what that is? That's a Battle Toad? Okay. I didn't know that because he's got a Batman logo. All right. All I know is I saw they've got another one of those toads, and it's another cool one there too. They've got several that I can see from here. Dinosaurs, aliens, monsters, all kinds of, and some of them are actually pipes too. This is not a pipe, but I'm just saying. They got all kinds of things. It will freak you out. Okay? Let's see. Einstein said that if you can't explain something simple, you don't understand it well enough. Good explanation, oh. Well, thank you, sir. I don't know if I should ever be compared to Einstein in any way, shape, or form, because I definitely lack the intelligence to even come close. But I appreciate it. Jerry G says, LOL, Linda, that is almost exactly what I told my wife. Well, wait a minute. I don't even know what are we talking about here? I don't even know. Who's Linda? Is there a Linda on here? I don't even know. We keep adding more and more people that come in and out of the show. And I appreciate that. That's awesome. Remember to share our link, give us a thumbs up, but share the YouTube link with a friend, send it to them on a text, send it to on social media, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Montel Sutton says it should be called. It's called a Battle Toad. There should be 3 different ones. Okay. I see 2. Maybe they sold the 3rd one. That's probably what it is. I think I saw 2. 'Cause I know there's one more up there. Maybe there's a 3rd one and I'm missing it. Do you guys have all 3 Battle Toads or just 2? Just 2, right? Yeah. So they sold the 3rd one. There you go. See? So if you want to get a Battle Toad, they've got 2 of the Battle Toads left. And it's cool. I like this Battle Toad. Actually, that one's I found it to be pretty cool. Why not? My man is styling. I don't know what the hand means. I don't know if it's out of battle cry or something. I don't know what it is. What else do we have to talk about? Oh, did you see Vegas? They're closing down the buffets because of Corona. Not every hotel, but a lot of hotels are shutting down their buffets. The question is, when is the draft going to be shut down? I mean, I'm just kind of. I'm going to be shocked if I'm at the draft.
You're resigning yourself to the fact
Yes.
that this is going to be the course of action.
Yes.
I've got to think,
Why am I going to? I'd rather prepare myself for the worst. So if it happens, I'm pleasantly surprised. This way, if I'm psyched up about, I was already psyched up about Pearl Jam, and now I'm crushed. Now I'm psyched up about. I'm still psyched up about the draft because it's going to happen anyway. But I really wanted to do this broadcast and be with a whole bunch of Doll fans and have a great time. And the fact that we're not going to be able to do that, and if it happens, then at least I'm happy about that. But if it doesn't, I'm not necessarily going to be surprised because it's kind of what I'm preparing myself. I'm preparing myself that they have to cancel this.
I've got to think somewhere
Vegas,
a
bro.
month to 3 weeks out
Yeah.
is when we're going to get the word.
Right.
So somewhere at the 23rd.
By next week.
23rd to the
next week. By
2nd,
next Friday.
At the latest, 2nd of May.
By next Friday.
April.
By next Friday is the 18th.
Yeah.
That gives you just a little over a month, and you have to give people time
Now,
to cancel
listen,
and do all kinds
Here's
of stuff.
something that I thought about because of obviously living in Miami Springs area. Being close to an international airport because of travel, people going to gas stations, bars, hotels, restaurants, by an airport. If you live by an international airport, you need to be more aware of your surroundings and what you're doing. Because
But I mean, Vegas,
you got more
Vegas
people.
is a
I'm not-
international
oh,
city.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
understand. I'm not talking
No,
about
I know that.
I'm going past.
And by the way, the
I just
airport
want-
is next to the Strip.
Yeah, well,
Literally
yeah.
next to the Strip.
Well, I'm talking about Miami International.
No, I know what you're
Fort
talking about
Lauderdale.
in general.
You got people from all over the world coming into that airport.
Yeah.
Atlanta, New York, Chicago.
Yeah.
You know, and you get around that area, think about what you're touching and where
Although
you're
in,
at.
although in our airport, most people aren't really hanging around that airport because there's really not a lot of places to hang out unless you're an executive that you're just staying at an airport because you're here for a meeting and then you're
No,
gone.
but there's still a lot of rental car places. There's still a lot of restaurants around there. There's
yeah,
still
but
a lot
the
of
average
hotels.
person doesn't really go to the rent-a-car unless you're really
Yeah,
going
but
out,
there's a
you
whole
know what
bunch
I mean?
of hotels around there. Hey, look at Doral. Look
That's
at
what
Miami
I-
Springs.
that's-
It's all full of bars
That's
and
what I
restaurants.
mean. Those kind of hotels. Yeah, those people. If you work there, man, you got to be careful. But I mean, Vegas is worse than anything else, man.
I'm just cluing everybody out there that's anywhere near an airport. It's international.
Our biggest
Think about what
our
you know.
biggest problem is the people that don't take it serious. You're better off overreacting, not overreacting like a fool at a shopping center and fighting over toilet paper. I'm talking about overreacting like, dude, wash your hands several times a day. I just washed my hands now. Not only because I went to the bathroom, but I washed my hands thoroughly because I haven't washed them for a couple of hours. And then when we're done here now, I'll go back in there. I'll wash my hands again. Get in the car. That way my hands are clean when I'm touching my car.
I naturally
Inside.
wash my hands a bunch of times. I'd wash my hands so much to the point that my hands get dry because of me taking the oils, the natural oils out
Right.
of my skin.
Right.
And I have to use conditioner and stuff because I just and now even more. I would probably wash my hands easily, man, 9-10 times a day.
I don't know about that. Peter says, Big O, I'm going to New York in early April. You think I should buy Knicks versus Heat tickets at MSG? Will I get my money back if something happens? Peter, why don't you do this? Call the Knicks. Call their box office and ask them what is their ticket policy. And that if I'm buying tickets now, will I be able to refund them if there is a COVID-19, thing? Because I would imagine that's why you're asking, Peter, that the only reason you're worried about is that if that comes into play, remember, there's a city in New York that has the National Guard, and that whole city shut down. Okay? So it's not like it's not close by. It's close by. It could become a problem. So I would call the Knicks ticket office first, ask them what their policy is, and are you protected that if there is a COVID-19 issue that they've got to cancel it, will you get a refund? And I would do this, Peter. Buy it through the team. Do not buy your ticket secondary market because you will not get your money back. But if you buy it directly with the Knicks and they have a return policy due to the COVID-19, then you're covered. If they say no, then don't buy them and wait till they're there that day that you know it's going on and you buy the tickets. It won't be sold out. Okay? Less and less people are going to Knicks games here down the stretch. People will leave their tickets out there, and you can get them in secondary markets. Okay? Let's see. Linda Kaufman about stay calm, don't panic, be smart about COVID, and go with the flow. Well, it's Michelle Kaufman, not Linda. But, yes, she's right. You do gotta. What you do is you take it serious, but you got to be calm, cool, and collective about it. I agree with Michelle. But you got to take it serious. I've taken it serious from the get-go. All right? Hells to the yeah, man. If I can stay from, making contact with people, then I'll do the most I can. I will wash my hands. I will look out as much as possible. There you go.
What organization did you say announced this as a pandemic?
The national
the CDC.
CDC, yes.
CDC has come out and
officially said it's a worldwide pandemic. The health, whatever health world organization said it right now, that it's a worldwide pandemic now. Yeah, of course it is, because we got to make sure we keep this thing down, man. I mean, Manny just said that there was come on, man.
Dude, you're going back to early 1900s, and what was it, polio?
Yeah.
That wiped out, an eighth or a sixth or seventh of the world or something.
Yeah.
Look how it's been 100 and some. We probably have been due for something this scale. Because we've been,
I hope not.
We've been very. No. I'm just saying.
I get what you're saying. I totally understand.
And you know what's another thing? The fact that medical, because they've even talked about how the medical shifting to a profit margin thing.
Right. Yeah.
That there's a lot of things that aren't being developed.
Right.
That it's being left behind, and you know what? We need to totally overhaul and re-look at the way our medical is being done.
Well, that's a whole. That's another conversation.
But you know what? But this situation right now, hopefully, this all comes to the forefront. Like, we need to be more about curing people and solving this than, making money. That's the wrong way to be.
Listen to this. Talk show hosts across New York City, including The View and Live with Kelly and Ryan, will tape without studio audiences because of the coronavirus breakout. Sources told Good Morning America, which has a live audience in its second hour, will also keep the public out of its studio. Given the current developing situation in New York City, we have made the decision to suspend live audiences from attending our broadcast and talk shows. How about that? Okay? And on Tuesday evening, the Tamron Hall show and the Wendy Williams show announced that they would be taping without an audience. All right? Dr. Phil, Jeopardy, and Wheel of Fortune are already taping without audiences. And not only that, the Zac Brown cover band also canceled their tour because of Corona. I just saw the Zac Brown cover band over at, was it the BB? Yeah, it was the BB&T Center. I know they're not called that, but I call them the Zac Brown cover band because 70% of their material was cover material. I mean, And I got to say that after watching that band, they are a good band, no doubt about it. Their covers are better than their regular music. BMI has postponed the Latin Awards show. It doesn't end. It continues.
Oh, you know what, man? It's going to be kind of like when a hurricane's coming here. this is closed down. The school, it's this list is just going to get more and more.
Coachella,
Yeah.
which we talked about yesterday that they were thinking about it. They went along with it already. They canceled. Well, they didn't cancel. They postponed Coachella till October. So they're hoping that the pandemic, dies down by that time, and then they can have the concert. I mean, it doesn't end. On a good side, I don't know if we'll be able to see it. Modern English is coming back to South Florida July 11th. They're in West Palm Beach at Respectable Street. I have yet to go to a concert at Respectable Street, but there have been a couple of shows that I wanted to go to and I couldn't go. I remember Peter Hook and the Light. I remember when I had my hospital thing with my heart, The Fix was there, and I missed that. I was so pissed. I missed The Fix 3 times. In Clearwater, St. Pete, and in West Palm. I was going to all 3 concerts. See? They're for those of you that don't know, The Fix is one of my favorite bands of all time. All time. I know I'm a weirdo. Most people will not have The Fix as one of their favorite bands, but I love The Fix. U2, Iron Maiden, The Cure, The Fix are like my classic 4. Okay? I've added some new ones that, I like Greta, that I will do whatever it takes to go see Greta. They are falling along that line. But anyway, Modern English coming July 11th. I think I told you yesterday about King Crimson, right? Meisner Park, June 6th. That's pretty cool with King Crimson. Lisa is going to the Fair Expo Center March 13th. Are they going to have the fair? Will we be there at the fair? Is the question. Right? Be there. The fair.
I know that they don't have the spin out, man.
Yeah, you won't be able to be there if they've got the corona going. Ray says, good taste in music, must say, Big O. Well, thank you, sir. Sharif says, Big O, I'm not going after Jay Thuney, offensive tackle, or Congley Clan, offensive tackle. They are too expensive. I'll go Glasgow and Lewis, offensive tackle, free agents, second tier. Well, Sharif West is putting in the work. Putting in the work. By the way, isn't it nice to put in work, put in no work and get paid for it?
When did this happen?
Court filings in a blockbuster lawsuit shed new light on Journey's split with Steve Perry. The case actually pits guitarist Neil Schon, keyboardist Jonathan Cain against the group's rhythm section, which they claim tried to steal the band's name. But in asserting ownership of the mark, Cain licensed the Journey mark from Nightmare Productions through an '86 agreement with the band's original manager, Walter Herbert. That contract was amended in '97 when Perry split with Journey. Court documents show Cain and Schon were allowed to take over the license, but at a notable cost. Court documents show that Journey were required to pay their former singer a sum of total of 50% of the net income due to Schon and Cain, whichever is higher, from the first 2 post-Perry Journey albums. Perry then was to receive 25% of the same net income from their 3rd studio project without him, and 12.5% from every Journey album that follows. All of those figures were calculated after expenses. Journey have released 4 albums and an EP since Perry left. The first 2 studio LPs and an EP featuring initial replacement Steve Algeri. Arnel Pineda sings on the most recent pair of albums. Perry made a similar deal on revenue from Journey's live dates. He was to receive 50% of net income from their first 2 tours after the split, 25% from their 3rd tour, and 12.5% from every subsequent tour after. Net income, the document reminds, again, shall mean Schon and Cain share whichever is greater of all revenues shared, including tour merchandise, tour sponsorship income, and any tour support payments. Expenses can again be deducted, including any salaries paid to Schon, Cain, and other members of New Journey. Is that amazing?
So
or
Perry's
that
been,
is
he's like Bobby Bonilla.
Thank
Not
you, bro.
Bobby Bonilla, right?
banking. Now, wait a minute. Now, he helped write a lot of those songs. So you're playing his songs every night, so he has to get a cut. He sung those songs. He made those songs hits along with with Sean and
I
Kane.
understand.
So you know what I'm saying.
You get but still, nonetheless,
but he's not doing a damn thing. I know.
And the percentages, 50, 25. You're talking a nice chunk, man.
But he did a lot to establish all of that you're now riding the coattails on. You know what I'm saying? And his voice is the voice that you had to hold the standard up to.
Pineda's got to love Steve Perry because that's who he wanted to sound like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's not making as much money as he possibly could because of Steve Perry.
Well, Steve's Steve's like, okay, so this is the pie? All right, I got my pieces. You guys go ahead and have fun.
That's a hell of a lawyer that guy has, dude. He got a great deal. When I read that story, there's a part of me that says, wow, Neil Sean really wanted to get rid of Steve Perry. Right? Because you agreed to all – yeah, dude, whatever. Let's go. Let's get this done. Get the hell out of here. We want to go tour. And then you start to think about it, and it's like, whoa, that's a lot of money, man.
You know what? I'm sure that it was a situation kind of where they were wanting to go. Let's do this, and Steve's dragging his feet. And it's like, dude, you're holding us back.
Right.
We need to be
right.
Look,
you don't
whatever
wanna
it takes
this.
to get you the hell out.
Right.
Like, here, go, get.
Wow.
Let us go on our way. Bye.
That's a hell of a deal there, dude. All right, we wrap it up.
You know
here.
what? You know what? Hold on. So there's resentment.
Oh, for sure.
You know, like, dude, to this, like, you haven't come to us and said, hey, you know what, man? I got my cut, man. I'm good.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go do your, you know, like, to still hold them to the fire.
But again, it's his songs, so maybe that's why he's not letting it go. You know what I'm saying? So if he wrote a lot of those songs,
look, if you're in Steve's position, what are you doing? Keep that check coming there, guys.
I don't want to be a rock star, but I'll live like one off your money. That's kind of what Steve Perry's saying. And look.
Oh, and by the way, thank you.
And
I
I bought his latest album, Traces. Not that good. His earlier stuff was so much better. But it's one of those things that when you lose that it factor, when you lose that groove, it's hard. It's hard to get it back again, man. It really is. It's almost impossible to find that groove again. And it's hard. Like Aerosmith died and then had this couple years where they were nothing, and then they got resurrected again with Permanent Vacation and Pump and all that, and they had a second career. It's hard to do that.
Run DMC, huge assist with that.
Kiss did that. Yes, exactly. Kiss did that too. They had their dead time with Unmasked and The Elder and all that. And
totally uncool to be Kiss there for a while, you know?
And then Creatures of the Night started to give them a little bit, and then Lick It Up became a thing in MTV, and then they got back on track again and had a couple of albums with some success, you know, after that. But again, they kind of went into a lull. But most bands, once they hit that valley, they that's it. They're done. They don't really come back, and it's not easy to do that. And so some have been able to pull it off. Journey hasn't. By the way, they've been a successful touring band with Arnel Pineda. They have not had hits with Arnel Pineda. They have not done anything like they did with Steve Perry.
No, you haven't even heard.
Steve Perry, bringing it full circle, his album Traces is nothing like what he did with Old Sherry and all that other stuff that he did in his first couple albums, which I also have, and they're really good.
We also got to factor in, like we've talked about, how is so-and-so's out? Judas Priest, number one, and bigger than bigger than British Steel.
Yeah,
and,
number 5.
Yeah.
British Steel went to 17. No, not British Steel. Screaming for Vengeance was their highest-rated album at 17.
What was it? Firepower, I think.
Firepower, which is a great.
Yeah.
It's a great album, dude. It's really an excellent album, but it's not British Steel, and it's not Screaming for Vengeance, which is probably the greatest album they've ever done.
Some of the records, and and this one's got this hit and that, and it's like it's not like it was back in the day.
The rankings
it's
nowadays,
easier. So it's kind of like the fact that Journey hasn't been able to pop up on any of that.
Oh yeah,
it shows exactly what you're talking about.
It's a great point because the ratings or the rankings now are so weak, and
they're skewed big time.
Completely skewed. all these records that these people are breaking, they're all bogus. They're all
what's his
freaking
name?
bogus.
Justin Bieber breaking Elvis Presley's record. It's like,
it's a joke.
Dude, these two names are being mentioned in the same sentence. Are you kidding me?
Right, yeah.
Come on.
Give me a break. All right, we wrap it up. We thank Michelle Kaufman, of course. We thank Mr. Fernandez, Andre Fernandez, for joining us from The Athletic. Manny Navarro, we thank him for coming by and joining us out here. Always love that. Bill, as always, great work by him. John also. We thank, of course, all the great people out here at VSS West Pines. Come on out here and join them out here at VSS West Pines for all your CBD needs, baby. 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on out here. Visit them on Instagram and Facebook at VSS West Pines. Go to the website, vsswestpines.com. We'll be back here on Tuesday. Tomorrow, we'll see you at Toyota of Hollywood. Be good.
Have a good one, guys.